Okay.
As at Friday, no my kind. As at Thursday, no my kind 30 pages. Friday, maybe I love it from my breakdown. No my kind 48 pages. My team me could do if you bear one. And I meet me kind kakra me da bear 1 hour been a media ban. So but me who a summary by Professor Kwekwaza, and I think that it makes perfect sense based on what I usually to have read.
Okay.
That does not mean that lawyers, you can give them two provisions of the Constitution. The interpretations will vary. So that is his interpretation, and that is an interpretation I usually to agree, having read the judgment myself.
Okay.
I don't know what
yes.
So let me issue that caveat so that someone will not come and say that way, and I don't want to take credit for somebody's work. It's not my work. But Abraham Madam Senator Makulu, he was acquitted and discharged, and acquitted and discharged basically, and say she cannot be charged for the same offense.
Okay.
Yes, if you be left in a double jeopardy. Yes, it's the law of natural justice.
That's right.
You cannot trial the same person on the same charges twice. The court say acquitted me
okay.
Say be a discharge, say be a there be charge the defense and cobra. But to acquit and discharge me you go say be some viewer me
okay.
I will explain why.
Okay.
Na two attorney once a man for blame Godfrey Dam so be true statement me blame way. I don't think me view say u blame mienu na eyeye. I also explain the document why me dream say. You see there be am jana me ka say me say oral cases no. Oye attorney general deputy obetumi akasa na okasa. But at the end of the day, the person to give the verdict, to weigh the evidence you presented and what the accused person has equally presented will be the court.
Okay.
Mamu example, me YouTube channel the critical analyst. And I make can say Hanan Okaya judge rule what kind letter no. So then Qatar any problem on Kwabuchiri.
That's right.
That's what the judge said. What do you want the attorney general to do? Qatar nani it will go UK. The judge granted.
Judge Amanda Quine.
Enti no say wo bufu na ka say bia attorney general Godfrey Dame and I say ayenia mimi you say to them again say far fetch.
Okay.
Because they will present a case. The case is for someone to decide. As a sheriff who to me. Say you never say come and never but decision in me. If you won't listen and blame say you Jama, I don't take that decision. Kuku could take that decision.
Yes.
So the one who takes the final decision, in my view, should be the one you question.
That's it. And it's very important say Nippon a court system now.
Exactly.
And nothing here can say Abaya Jai said dinner. Abaya Jai said dinner.
Yes. But me blame one because none will be.
Okay.
Unanimous.
That's right.
Baby said you can take a car for the jam. I've got a Sukon man. I won't say because I knew. Because it's Sicilian. And then make us a surprise and me
that be.
Me surprise and every man said in that time a clue. Why can't I no pay crime to say bit me, because then no stay of execution. I pick what I'm for really.
Yeah.
The battle was at
sure.
It's in a yeah, drained it. They be a make us say, ya drink, ya drink. Mamma another example. Dennis Miracle. You are no closer to Dennis Miracle than me. You but make us say prosecuting why. Because the then is called quarter. I want you to be the brief fact of the case.
Sure.
Say the then is at the end 5.2. You could say 55. Deputy Attorney General Crass no more bank card a brosa. Meboa. By a quarter. And I'm pretum shirt here black. I'm pretum shirt here white. Yes, I'm pretum here rasta. Yes, I'm pretum here tuntum. A quarter. Brief fact of the case. The one you be one
cassa.
Yes. And when I get me say, and I will say, and you're buying me penny say way and a fact. Exactly. And you can't prosecute to be and yes, then is Kojela and answer so much Kojela. Me you say to na debut that's what Kojela. And obey me and I want to make Kojela. Into how we how there's no bearing on my life.
That's all.
But so who person who no crana court, I know the positives of it. When the matter goes to court, when I charge you also have opportunity to
defend yourself.
Evidence.
That's right.
But you see, said in that time, when I was reflecting on it this dawn, I said, "Me yati OSP I say in the Kenofria Tamata."
Oh, okay.
But I can't true to mama. Say metro. I said, "Me yati OSP taxes be an person ye Kenofria. The bro so person use one so on tiasi warm ran. Me yati I say." And let's not forget the wound to me trial.
Yeah.
when Judge Audrey Kokuvite said that won't to me na no assembly. My mama example say me remfi. Ona ama Henry Okumzo nkoye galamsey Debbie make us one inquire reclamation. O ma ni sika Debbie. Usu onko dua kube so 10-15 years ni ati kube ni aton. Kube sika ti reclamation. Enti oma a reason.
Yeah.
But deducing from the reason in the view of the judge, the trial judge, it doesn't make sense. Now let's go to Professor Azanse. And me I think the international for blame year ago Dominic Kayen and I am letter on the band. Sometimes I throw letter so I'm careful. Tiasemo will say the attention of the Attorney General has been drawn to the decision of the Court of Appeal acquitting the former master. Now, okay, so your attention has been drawn. You say to two. A German Swedish will not It is Okuku Sekuka because my attention has been drawn to her. But where you want to mean Casa because you are party to the case.
Yes.
It I think so almost some phrasing of letter no a problematic.
Yeah, what is some?
Yes, let's go to the substance of Sedina Tamakludian.
Okay.
First issue knew about Tampa microfinance. I must look more Mobesia 500,000.
Okay.
No, this kind of coin, no about Tampa for say interest na mode to son a solo prosecution case na me bon a tough at you. And I said, as a muntimin jump from Sikemrami. And I called prosecution the good friends of no coaching or batuna tota. To when this Sikane manono, and about Tampa chairman say, Madam, scared dear my head, dear Miss Row, may you let the be a chair say. Why then? What Jessica? According to prosecution, Omukobo no letter no, about Tampo for the Oho, Yoko Diano, Ira. But Sasikana, Madam said that time on 5 occasions, actually, I come about Tampa say, Monfa interest, and then the Sika Waje. What the in August Trollette say, we interest. That is one.
Okay.
The second case in here, sensitization be a child $1.8 million, $1.7 million man. A Korean 1.7 million cities.
Yeah.
A Korea say no now almost spending 1.8 million cities. Now 10 regions, then 16 regions. I'm sorry, just about 3 regions. Accra, Brown, half I think voter region. Nyakan, Omanye. And also charge and Lusicano misappropriation. Unse ba we mu dia ye kan TV.
Yes.
And one bro for sophisticated misappropriation. And a second one is a Cantamanto. Fire victims on 579 million. What's happening to me? 800,000 Ghana cedis.
579,800.
800. They just talk market 2015. Siko fen kom woman. Yesu di sika no. Again, okoto cars because na ne bo no esusun. Ebu on so amfa public procurement authority. Unsa wo koto aban ade bia na so de ko PPA no muhwem. E kroje bibia no so anya saade. Again, let's just be to a man who mobile phone your koto say mobile phone near 50 cedis or 70 cedis. Saade ni nyina account of the year. The court no, this is basically what the court said on all the matters. Let me just summarize for you. Court on the case said charge sheet near the man no e defective. Now let me explain the charge sheet. Say the court was basically saying say a charge now the boss says okay account be a conspiracy to steal. What ingredients are you basing on to say that there was a conspiracy to steal? You can't conspiracy say many am prechuma prechum microphone e koduma e benya bu sa Eugene okay me kra me hu say CCTV no mu dum ne be 10 nti e boten na hyiamase woni emetumi you no conspiracy me no akọ na krana
yakoye kanana
say charge sheet no na sa bone asade na mtamaklo adi a what the money laundering to so, what the stealing it to so, what they causing financial loss to so, what they willfully causing financial loss to so. I can't in Abu Makoya 78 charges. A Thomas Suma, and ye charges near defective. Again, hold this say about burden of proof. So, because I said them Kotobi be only authorization from public procurement authority. The onus lies on the prosecution. And the one making the allegation to prove say no new authority no and shifted bad and then cause the name was say yes we will new authority to one be treasure authority and as a new authority. So the burden of proof per the appeals court at all material times was on the prosecution to prove that she didn't have the authorization. Now yanko enema 7 na me boman yanko baby aso. The court found serious evidential proof about Tampadian. The original acknowledgement letter was not produced. The document tendered was a copy obtained from Obatampa. No corresponding master copy was produced. Evidence Even though the reference number on the letter suggested that Maslow should have retained a copy. Also, quite a bank copy. Letter be our date, need be numbers.
That's right.
About Tampa will let any one call Maslow. Let any be. Now, the of Maslow official who testified has not seen an official Maslow copy against which the document could be compared. The chairman of Obatapos who claimed that he had exchanged WhatsApp messages with Sedina concerning the refund, those messages were not produced. Obatapos, minutes can come in Sedina Boncomo, Mame, Mediabo, Scano Kaya soon. Can some for WhatsApp message, or want me a message in your day. But let's not forget that at the appeals court, they will not sit over new evidence.
Okay.
They will not allow you to bring in new evidence.
That's
except
right.
in extremely exceptional case.
Right.
They were only assessing the facts as presented and ruled on at the lower court, which is the high court.
That's right.
It means a question I come one and say, senior. The court said now funny because they couldn't prove receipts. Because now Ogusu demand this kind of from about Tampa, which means now on is can in the view of the appeals court, yeah, 500,000 anyway.
Anyway. Said
now. So I think that even though she's been acquitted and discharged, and the only route is going to a Supreme Court,
there are still questions to be answered.
There are still questions, and maybe some civil matters must be considered in this matter. That is maybe view.
Sure.
Because there's no establishment of the whereabouts of the 500,000. And the 500,000 you create 5 billion. And where come back 10 years ago.
And easy.
Senior, but what?
Sure.
TFN2. Now, the issue about sensitization. Tell us much. Or say the prosecution's case was that the program neither did not occur or occurred only on a very limited scale. The court held that the prosecution did not prove beyond reasonable doubt that Sadina stole the money. The prosecution did not call the relevant regional officers or beneficiaries who could give direct evidence about whether the program took place or not. Instead, the trial judge expected Sadina to prove that the funds had been properly used. The court held that this again wrongfully transferred the prosecution's burden to the accused. It's burden of proof now, no say say. In case 10 regional chairman, form chairman, directors of master of operation water for musica buy program no na benefit on number one man fresh microphone would blame the man said in that temakula. But you see, there's a phrasing here. Or say the prosecution did not prove beyond reasonable doubt. In criminal trial, you must prove beyond reasonable doubt. That is sensitization. So again, almost also can say countermand of market fire. No, so no. Almost say one prosecution witness admitted that enquiries had established that the funds had been distributed to the victims. Another witness had confirmed this to him, although the information was omitted from the report tendered in evidence. The court held that this admission struck out the foundation of the stealing charge. If the funds had been distributed to the intended victim, the allegation of dishonest appropriation could not be sustained. The conviction and sentencing related to the countermand funds were therefore some say Stekano could do a dance. Oh, you should share microphone be a tweet.
Stekamo
could do a dance as a tweet. This is Nipa no say yes car.
Neither they are saying
the same to be here. But the court also is not telling us. Yes, you can pay to some people.
Yes.
One prosecution
so who can
testify who were paid
that's
and
right.
how much they received. Now, make us say, unfortunately, at the appeals court, they are not at liberty
to do certain things. Yeah.
Now, I say, what happened to the money laundering conviction? TI, very important to say, they were set aside. The allegations stealing offenses were the underlying or predicate offense. Say, how do I explain supporting the money laundering members charges? In simple terms, the prosecution first had to prove that the money was the process of an unlawful entity. Before someone can launder money or steal money, it must be from a certain unlawful act.
Yeah.
If that unlawful act is not proven, the person cannot launder or steal the money.
Okay.
And this is basically the summary. Court to go. That's basically the summary.
Not just say you can say money. You can say money laundering. Now say it me chima you say baby and depending can free no. Enya kwampaso. Now when timi an chirem say enya kwampaso a untimi kasa nipa no why money laundering.
Why money laundering? And again no money laundering an element is e bia sika na kwampaso. But the one who transfers can ni ma bia wodi ye ne baby a wode fefa.
And so emfa mramu.
And so timi fa ba kwaso no so money laundering. na court no ba cars no cars na mo cars said na time to koto ya mo charge no ho MPP aban ne Ken Freta na bitu ya ka they renegotiated and paid it would they all not sign contract so that's also my issue if you are saying that someone paid the contract is a binding contract they renegotiated and paid but who signed the contract?
Signed it?
So I think that yes, she's been acquitted and discharged. That is the law. I'm not a lawyer.
Yeah.
But I think that commonsensically they've raised some questions in my view, and I think that you and I have debated on that matter. But let me skip. Attorney General so be call Supreme Court akosiki review of the matter. And now Appeal Court transfer for the stay of execution. It means you need free prison. Yeah. I'm far. Almost on Tom conclave 2 hours on by decision to me. But the reason why I can't say, I think that the blame on Godfrey Yabu Adame and Attorney General is that the case was handed over to Dominic Ayene. When they were defended, in fact, when you read the entire 43 pages, only time. When you read the entire 43 pages, he mostly argued the same points Godfrey Adame argued.
Okay, because said the same fact, no general so
the same fact. And in fact, what's here the body language of the Attorney General when he did the government accountability? You know, CRC report.
Yes.
No, can't 2 minutes.
Yes.
Look, I'll say, even the court in the US.
Yes.
When they were presented with the evidence, believed in us and extradited said in that time. So he is unhappy with the appeals court. And he had, in fact, I think that posture shows that he's very, very unhappy.
Sure.
Maybe that's my view. You're entitled to disagree.
Sure.
But the reason I think it's not fair to blame them is something. You see, when they wrote, after the appeal came to the attention and everything, that Attorney General had to write. And senior, my kind court document, I think that that's one of the most strongly worded statements that Attorney General be.
That's right.
Standing by the fact,
decisions,
the conviction of a former Attorney General.
Okay.
It's me can't go for that response here be or see o ma me no na wo you me as obo kind Attorney General am na my a bit uncomfortable kakra because I don't see where the Attorney General did the state wrong and I'll read it for you.
Okay.
Because my country is sheriff and me view what the facts is.
Sir.
Now let's try there. Or say this is Attorney General speaking. Already preliminary objection. Whether it's the state attorney or whatever, they prosecute on behalf of the Attorney General. To get it is clear. Yeah. Even now, the OSP, you catch us on the Attorney General of the Attorney General. Okay. Now say, my laws, the antecedents to this case point to the fact that Sedina, make appellant to Sedina.
Okay.
Herein was tried and convicted in absentia. She was sentenced to 10 years, but remained a fugitive. So because said number Dania, Mumubizamontiasian, where Attorney General Neka say, remains a fugitive from justice, and as such has not served even a day of the sentence imposed on her by a court of competent jurisdiction.
Yeah.
Our criminal justice system has been marked by a persistent effort to balance the coercive power of the state and the fundamental rights of the individual. Or see, Ghana, yes, state no so. In Article 99, clear say. Those say the state has unfettered access to power, resources, but when you be balance the human rights and then the powers of the state. Here is idea so. Mami, I can once a court. And my say you try no.
Yeah.
Oh, Jane. 1 year cry, 10 years man on 7 years.
Yes.
Of course, you can say. However, a specific procedural dilemma arises when an accused person, having been duly notified of criminal proceedings, chooses to abscond.
That's right.
Attorney General say.
That's right.
Adiana mo be ye no. Muni hu say. Adiya ye be mana no. Ya bona man ye se charge ye aboni ni.
Yes.
But we decided to obey Jane.
Obey Jane. Proceedings crash shall say for about 3 years.
That's Attorney General speaking.
That's right.
Leading to a trial and subsequent conviction in absentia. The legitimate question that arises is whether such an individual, now a fugitive from justice, retains the right to utilize the appellate machinery to challenge their conviction while remaining outside the reach of the law. I tell you na point and say
that's right.
Legitimately the court eya wo de say obi a ono adwane from system na e pese punishment no system e born na mane say obone a wadi ni system na man ne kwan so ono so kan the side of to odwane ye no that's is it fair for that person to come back and use that system to vindicate a position. That's Attorney General speaking.
That's right.
It goes further to say that before we proceed to discuss the above raised issue, it is pertinent to put this appellant's case in a perspective and state the fugitive appellant is not challenging the procedural steps which were taken in commencing the trial in absentia as not meeting the legal threshold for proceedings in absentia. What she is challenging is the outcome of the said trial. It goes further to say that, my lords, it is right that the right to appeal in Ghana is a creature of statute, underpinned by constitutional guarantees. It provides a mechanism for the correction of legal and factual errors made by lower courts. For a person convicted in absentia, understanding the statutory framework is the first step in determining whether an appeal can be mounted that is not just filed, but effectively pursued and heard by the appellate body. Into this page, you know, the Attorney General basically goes to the Court Act of 1993, Act 459, to say that, oh, appeal there, because the lower court they try from so. There should be a bigger court who will sit on the matter, and it ends at the Supreme Court, where the appeal process will evaluate the facts and make sure that there is no error. And see, said Natama appeal, the Mramokraman the Queen, and will call appeal no boss and cruna. Well, say, under the Court Act, the right to appeal is generally granted to any person who is aggrieved by a decision. This broad language suggests that the status of the person, that is whether they are in custody or fugitive, does not inherently extinguish the existence of the say any panejane. See a channel. Always my appeal or build a point about the act provides that an appeal may be on a matter of law, a matter of fact, or a mix of law or fact. Say appeal there, law, ebi a mrano, continuity, ebi a fact, no, when any ebi try a measure of the law and the fact. The appeal there, but your cousin or say, however, after establishing that some prechum court ne butiana, and mraman hokwan.
So sounds so bad.
At 459 to go to an appellate court. Or say, however, the Courts Act also grants the appellate court the power to regulate their own proceedings and to make orders that are necessary for the administration of justice. This includes the power to strike out appeals that are considered an abuse of the court process. This power, granted the judiciary and the common law fugitive disentitlement doctrine, put together means that once Act 459 grants a right to appeal, the court may refuse to exercise its jurisdiction if the appellant is in active defiance of the law. This creates a situation where the right exists in theory but may be procedurally bad in practice. Also, yes, Ghana manama can say appeal, but who court now better appeal no so. If there's a defiance of law,
that's right.
You can use that to throw out the appeal.
That's right.
Because there's a defiance of law, and the judiciary must be the custodians and protector of the law.
That's right.
This is Godfred Dominic the Attorney General speaking. It goes further to say that it is important to share light on the fugitive disentitlement doctrine at this point. Now, so I fugitive disentitlement doctrine or say the fugitive disentitlement doctrine is an equitable doctrine which prevents an evasive party from obtaining standing in the court which authority it evaded. Sorry. Or say okuku zekwa frame no one prechum ze BBSC.
Me se me ma
ana ofre office. Yuji mebo nkro me na mkobo o charge. Am prechum mu nipa. Wona ne ye kwa no ahye da dum microphone. On madwuma ntam. Ne fact nye. Ana okuku fr ampre. Yuji ni okani obra. Me ma wo ye hwan. Me ma. Ana wa ama. Ana Attorney General ka say fugitive disentitlement doctrine say one man okuku se kwa bu acha say one man dey am suspend 1 year without pay. E men sire fa bi o. Afa na wo be ka say okuku no Eugene kan oboa. Ana Attorney General ka say sa dey no ma ho kwan a enye yie o say
because
o say it's a doctrine which prevents an evasive the process, evasive party from obtaining standing in the court.
Yeah.
Yes, interesting. Also, I'm watching our wompa.
Sure.
Now, and then so sana beko. If the free and pay konano, there we be kakra kusuye no be wumwa. Na ekwawiano temperature be rise to say bet in number 24 degrees Celsius.
Okay.
Ekwawia ho no be 28 degrees Celsius. Na enwumre no sa tia about 22 degrees Celsius.
until no be benya na nka wape kuntu bi na se odi ekuru ho mo de da 1-1 no ye say any problem Kofi say any problem enti eno achi no yeah expecting nsuo bi ane
right
but then mframa na ebo no mu be nwunu asa nsuo wum kakra na ewia no so mo bia sa enti sa na ene ewiem besi akọ
okay
yeah basically
all right medan CP kwabna and atin nka on the weather enti no wa hye ne nso pa said you busy fakọ your mental health on KuroYiMuNsem na last week me can say ye hwase a me do be free sencheni ahodo a wo de behu say mofra no wono mo eye arewo emroso yade bi na me pese enoma bi ana me pese me twe adwene si so kakra emu beye mienu bi aka no me di gu akwa mu ansa na nyame yadom ochina ma sencheni no ase akyerɛkyerɛ on kakra no ma obehunu no na ne me kan say ekofa ba na me kyerɛkyerɛ na wotwetwa mu ni nyina no ne ka hu bi ye ya yeta ema ye ma no pressure ewo eye wono mo adesua mu no na eduru ba bia enkwada no ye expect more from them ebi abofra no adwene no ahoɔden no enuru empempenso a ebi odi bedi ne mfefo so first but maame person the body first and I like it say nanse you know said ye na wono mo aye no ma no ase ye de great no and the best na position schools ni bebre kura emfa position hye ho na wo ma ye bia unya A unya B unya we na nko say we di first we di second we di C said ye na university no nyina wo mo ye no na ekoba ne sa ma me opese ne ba edi first akoda insu bi kura we di third we di fourth no the pressure esi akoda iso akoda intimi nje sa pressure no so odi betu sa na mo no esa o ha no ne obetumi di aboa ne se na kyerɛkyerɛfo ɛna wo bɛka na omo ahwɛ kwan ya ombefa so a oni omu mienu bɛka abom na mo aboa abofra no ama na disua etimi akɔnkan na baabi apɛso wogina no watimi agina yie sɛ ne extra classes bi o sɛ oni akyerɛkyerɛfo no bɛhwɛ abofra ne weakness ne mo atimi address here very important dan so wo ba kwadwo wo de wabon de bia na wo de wontimi ni first yi bi da o yes na abofra no ohu sa sɛ onsɛm fata owura class class ne mfɛfo ye nipa kyɛn no ohu ne ho sa sɛ onya de so ohu bibi panni ni mu esa wo habofra no onya that sense of low self esteem na etimi nkwada bebre na nko mo bɔ mo ho body pa na nko betumi akɔ mani mpa but awufuo bi pressure no ma di gu om so edu ba bi akwada ne nso mi ayaka bre mi amenie mahu ne sɛ maame se menya de maame se mabon maame sisi ya ene na wonamu anti yenhwɛ nkwada na omukɔ school ɛhyɛda etiatia ma wo da particular pressure na yenhwɛ baabi a ya na nkwada ne wo eduru baabi a na afono ma wo afi na wo mo agensim woyɛ ne hwenye yi nti ya na yentu yɛbo ase na afi nso bra akwada no ebi okura wa ba subject bi wa anya de Omama kwanti na meka sa asem yi obeba no obehwe no na report no so no mani bi wa anko yie mesro hye ni nkran ma ne hu so obetumi aye ne mfefo aya wono nso betumi aye bi na wo sharp of running crime ma ne hu se ono nso wo potential bi woni mu eno na beginja no ama watumi aye de wo pe no na emomenya de wo teatea no di na temma ne hu sa ase won sem fata nye ye no kra ese ha no mo ti ya yenhwe ne yie ewo sa akwan no so na entumi emwa. This is the one I just wanted to add, especially awofo no problem was ade no ho pa ne hankwada na adwene bra omu nyini. Take note of it. Na ekwan abefa so abeboa wo ba no ne sa abribia no obehye ni nkura ma na hu se obetumi aye. That is the most important thing. And no building a self-confidence. Ne sa mana adwene no esi so se bibia ni ho a ebe ne den wa adesua mu ne koba ne sa o de nweta so edi nkunim. Tiasha and so sa Insha 104.5. This is your mental health on KuroYiMuNsem efa eye emofrano one more addition to mama kwan kudi natem maka de yachiro fa nebebo. That is how to build their self-confidence and their mental health towards our academics in the year. Insha 104.5. Sokoban Fatilo aye krado. Sokoban bibi aboko de.
Champion Akokoa we are fine also.
Adom nem pai boy ho ye pa.
Oh. Na adusanse ma okay.
Yeah.
Sa akoda no so wanye na ya still na obafia onsuade.
Da bi ye wo kwan a ofa so ye no. Ejina ma kire se wo ne akyerekyerefo ne kabo mu abofra no ba bi o ye weak no. Omba mu wahu na won so de yesa wo toka ho wo ye ka ho no wa ye kola bi wo kro bi nya extra classes adwen nyina nyepe na wo de aboa no watimi a build but encouragement na de ma no ma o build self confidence mi su metimi aye. In fact yen ba bi aye we nyina ne de ye nyina ye nkrofo a ehye ye nkuran ubetumi aye yire wo ho ubetumi ahu that self confidence ne bad then you move on and also can adesua de ho.
Okay,
very important pa. Yeah, now what's saying
and Ghana na 20 ni de omude sano masa sano masa omude omu nyanze omu weakness bi omude sano masa
sa
Jacobo tournament one winning ko nya biu ya fuma ye ba fi na nyame nko a nyame adoma 2027 no
right
ya na afcon be wusi yes anka ye mu bi
okay
ana 20 adeda yu mu na mo je cap ma ye no
right
ene na so ma no so omunya defeat
okay
omu first defeat o afcon no kotokoto so as usual ho say place bi dia ba montre se omujo mo kwan tim
azemwe no abeken
am diri nyina ba ho say we first batch second batch ba
yeah you overall na ade na ye no ase
season bia
edin
mutim the season bia
na ye we kra na ye edin the Sokoban Fatilo dia
Some ya bobo no and no pay nyina ejibod modern so Premier Sports on KuroYiMuNsem sema eduade animi na apostle kwa and na pematena sema sekua medin nyina ede abroad modern so na pamedin ede Jonathan Esiedu obetimi afrem Sokoban Fatilo Steve Zangadoroma and obo machidom and some do supi waf kono komo e wanim say Samson na wafu zombi ana 20 qualifies no medem sensem nyina ede ebremo Commonwealth Games no abana we Ghana medal sane ensetim kan ye medin nyina ede bena kwakowe of fantabulous commence asante korogbo kono almost so asone mama pay MTS men kan Jose we no air red with Momo and appointment can we online driver and also a prage operator we no atodi ne nyina ne se me pacho akere e che no enye ezekura na abia pass nyanafo ehyen no no otwa ne kasika no mo se men kan Jose man scan your GHQ code no with your Momo merchant ID no na akere e che no so sentim enkan de ene nti wo otwa sika ma no na akere e che no so nsa etima kan me pacho merchant ID no unibia the answer for Ghana card no na MTN branch bi on bia obawuram na so nsa etimi aka wodie arapa bia make sure so breakfast no ebe milo ezanze we no na wonduru we na vatamidi asmuma be ba chobofo ni ko school a make sure so na pa bia ne breakfast no milo na be bia so entimi enye fine entimi enfam abusuano na arapa bia me ba cho udare wie anansa nwumira so udare wie a enko a odebefo wunwinim no me ba cho ma no amuzu health food Amuzu health food ezanze we no rich in vitamins and of minerals etimi so dey ashimu ma mepacho enyinku a se obi ajatum no Amuzu health food e ma wonyini ye smooth e ma ne ye shiny e ho obi e twina se bi etunu nyina se kama enso so etimi e ma mesra wa boys boss ajatum sanso na girls obi ajatum Amuzu health food o period to mepacho face see a e was 0242 955 056 0242 955 056 mepacho tafun share so amusu junction e wo no man e wo yen tantam so e na won sa entimi encounter de en tantam so shen samla sem en fa free WAFCON tournament eguso de ndey e o Morocco na nu a the Blackers of Ghana ayedincho yan shebi Cameroon e she baako na coach ayo openia Jefuna Kim Last opening in the game no na mu odene Cameroon for an odene mo de wura game no enya ezekra ye go to opinion for Kim Last.
Game. I felt that Cameroon played more physical, especially in the first half, than us. They won almost every 50-50 duel, and sometimes you think that you're a little bit unlucky in some situation, but I also think that you deserve the luck. And I think they worked harder than us. They wanted this a little bit more in the first half, and that's why also they came out with 1-0 and half.
In today, Kobe Jinez the first half, we don't want to know one goal, and one of we bomb more than and so it's winning game no. Now last game your group no yani Mali and between at time so coach is second half against Cameroon no says say the room against Mali dia and the 3 match 1 points next one sa ebetimi aka.
You never know. I mean, it's a little bit tricky to say like that, that there can be advances for you. But of course, it's more open WAFCON this year than many people, I think, expected. So I think there will be very close quarterfinals, no matter what the position will be, if you finish first or second in the group. But to start with, we are not there yet. I still think that we have a good chance if we start to play like we did in the second against Mali. Then I'm pretty sure that we.
Coach Edman Blackers of Ghana opinion for Kim Last and now what's in Kano Minfu and me na Minfu Minutimo Wafu Zombie and a 20 qualifies in Nanasu Toja Ivory Coast na Ghana and Ryan Shebi Sanson Togo and so Entimen 3 games no 1 winning po Yan Sentimianka your coach I opinion for the Maso Kunadu and Yabusa coaches and I dying Entina 1 winning po Yanso Yansa Entimi Anka.
Everything we came here to compete to win. And having said that, we know there are some 1 or 2 things that couldn't go on properly, but in football you get everything 100%. Our game today was a difficult one. Togo also wanted to win, and we also wanted to carry the day. And yes, it was keenly contested, but I think we were slightly ahead of the Togolese.
Opinion and a qualifiers will be obeyed Bia, no one of so bet my say. Yeah, then a normal farmer until going forward, you may make sure to be beyond so bet my fine at the Maya. Now, I'm about 2027 and a 20 Afcon. No, you showed him say Ghana, Yanni Behusti, say you will see the next Ghana senior General Pampe. Men for many Commonwealth Games, Menuka said, and a Ghana, 2 medals a pet. And then said to me, Kai, in your silver barco, my mere friend is Zinabu Isajamaye, and no air para athletics, and of a bronze madano, Amadou Mohamed, our boxing him now 400 meters. No, Ghana, 2 mechanics are Tosumi and so. Emma Amubu didn't class bronze and said to Maka, a courage as a Canada, as it had been Canada 2 and their protest. No. I'm going to protest now that day. I come here to say, Madano, I'm a difference at the Ama Canada. And no Minuka said, yeah, 2 medals a pair, and I'll come out games to the insurance. It's me, I can't hear. Now, Namia Tuma, Taze, ya, the sister guest. Ya, showing him, she a draw for CAF Champions League, and after CAF Confederacy Cup, and also Matoja, or Cairo, or Egypt. Now, you're showing him, Tima, Media Mabeshiano, Samson, Nation Service, Tima. I'm also more no more so assure more. Na Kafra Babo $100,000. I don't know si Africa no room beyond we prelims no on sa and so to me aka. Na America said the Media Sports Club. Omo Cote d'Ivoire a honum and a pre-season no amokwakoye na watcho miensa na amobom modri p. And so etimi omo games no etimi araba bontre say nyame adom Jamo Sokro selection elebet ntamso na fi omo SOA na fi Asek Mimosa After Plateau and after Zoman FC. I'm only starting so you know about me at 10 times so now be so at me I fine. At I'm on Mukoko way. Our fantabulous Kumasi Azante Kotokobabo Kunasoye. Now I'm going to say preseason. And my own man who's a report in the name. So Kumasa Santi Kotoko at the 5 players wedding. A babontre say 10 time a Muntimino Monia day and to us will be him. Elvis Cheba for air striker. Francis Aqua air left back. Prince Bedu midfielder and Chabia and I'm got 20 nations. Second half season where I'm got 20 by Benjamin Chum, goalkeeper of a Kwame Bokubeye, and also air striker. na abetamu a onzo no kumasa santi ko de ko tinton time o mo contract no etimi aba na wieye na nana memenda life and love FM see you Adama Bibiani Gold Stars e opinion fun ko sedu o se abetamu a mo hwe nse o mo nse betima kan nyina nso mo striker o di go kin Ghana Premier League no Samuel Atakumi mo to no ama brant no edin na timo Iraq Al-Kaba Club to mo hwe nse abrant a je fun abetamu no o mo nsa ebetimi aka no.
The good thing is that Marcus was able to give us, leave behind the core of our team.
Okay.
You know, most of the young guys that were in the team, Marcus was able to give them the confidence and know they were playing during the second round.
Yeah.
And they gave it the results to be second. So, you know, currently you don't hear much of good stuff about signings.
No.
Yes, because we have 27 players, at least the 24 are confirmed.
Okay.
So we are just looking around to adapt one or two, maybe.
For which departments of the team?
I'm looking for Abetamo to replace Atakumi.
Abetamo?
Yes, I'm chasing him while.
Kotokos Abetamo?
Yes.
Okay. To replace Atakumi?
Yes.
Okay, so have you started speaking to him?
Yes, I'm on him.
Okay.
I will chase him until he comes.
I know a CEO, Adama Bibiani Gold Stars, because you do and I will tell you, na Yanka say a top scorer. What to Nuko Iraq? Obi a go to Ghana Premier League. Iraq no ko. And some of us opinion Emmanuel should have no share 9:30. I will be your phone in Kunya, na yeri inshira power sports. Jimmy de Casepan and so there. Etimi at the Abana Pamidi, Eddie Jonathan Esia do to me from Shokoban Fortilo. Make sure you not champion Akokoa Toso, Eddie KuroYiMuNsem Jibo Jana Toso Kama, Etimi Eddie Amamo.
Authority it evaded.
Your friend Renny Muama, your boy a bubon day or semes, I feel I'm baby defending me.
And I told you, I said, yes, sir.
Ye.
Now goes to said that it limits a person's ability to appeal as long as he or she remains a fugitive. According to the doctrine, an appellate court may dismiss an appeal when the person seeking the relief is a fugitive. It is important to state that Article 11 of the 1992 Constitution, the laws of Ghana include the common law as well as the rules of law generally known as the doctrine of Young Counsel Senator Kowama on his own appeal. She was arrested.
Yes.
And was citing authorities. Any other or citing authorities now no kind. But you see, to conclude for you why I believe the blame is not fair. The Hanokra the Yamakama and West Nan was Elfomu. Or citing authorities we no say. It is right that under our law, a convict who wishes to initiate an appeal must comply with specific procedural requirements, the most important of which is the filing of a notice of appeal. According to the rules, of course, a notice of appeal in a criminal case must typically be filed within 30 days of the date of the judgment or sentence. The act of filing a notice of appeal is a clerical and administrative task which notifies the court and the prosecution that the conviction is being challenged. At this stage, the physical presence of the appellant is not strictly required. A lawyer acting under instructions, even if the instructions were given before the client has gone, can technically sign and file the necessary paperwork. It must, however, be stated that filing the notice of the appeal is not synonymous with mounting the appeal. It is a submission that the latter involves the substantive hearing of the case, where the presence of an appellant becomes necessary, and as such, a fugitive status possesses a significant value to the process. It goes further to say that, my lord, the jurisdiction of the appeals court to hear an appeal, such as the instant case, is subject to several conditions precedent, some of which are found in statute and others in judicial policy. One of the primary limitations is the requirement that the appellant must not be in contempt of the very court system they are seeking to use. Or say, one of the condition precedents is that the court you are coming under to vindicate your right, you must not be in contempt of that court.
That is I'm presuming
education. See now what I say?
That's right.
So that's Attorney General speaking. So how do you blame him? I don't see where you need to blame him. Now it goes further to say that one of the primary limitations is the requirement that the appellant must not be in contempt of the very court system they are seeking to use. It is our submission that the appellant who fled the jurisdiction during the trial and who has avoided serving the prison sentence imposed by a trial court could be viewed as being in the state of constructive contempt. And we urge this court to view her as such. she is in what? Constructive contempt.
The court, yeah. Obumanimtia. Obu court nimtia.
We further submit that the effrontery of the appellant to mount this appeal when she has conveniently decided not to surrender to the jurisdiction of the court is something that should not be countenanced by this honorable court, as the conduct of the appellant is an affront to the sanctity and integrity of the court.
No shit.
Also said in that time the new Wasamanka the effrontery kind of piece.
Say
wonya kukuduro court a wabu na nimtia se nya kukuduro sa ba judicial system na wabu ya nimtia no bepe reprieve. It goes further to say that it is trying that once a competent court of law issues an order, it is expected to be obeyed, except only when the order has been set aside. Now the concluding statement, for me, then I'll leave it to your judge.
Okay.
It is a submission that Sardiness acting defiance of being at large is a flagrant disregard of the judgment and orders of the court that sentence, and as such, this honorable court should not entertain this appeal, as the conduct of the appellant is an affront to the administration of justice. This is appeal process. It may mean who will be person blame Godfrey Dami and say Dominic Kayene. At the end of the day, as I've always said when I do this analysis, it is a court who will decide.
And I think the court also will take it away seriously, because we know Akokoa to say where's now Okano. I know she papa.
In fact, we know who. Who's our panelist number? We know you to form. It's a 43 page. I can forward it to you. If you read it in good conscience, I don't know how you blame either Godfrey. In fact, in challenging the grounds of the appeal, the current Attorney General relied on all the facts of Godfrey Dame. He relied on the fact. Okay. In fact, for me, these preliminary objections that they raised make common sense. Okay. That there's a process. Cameron Associate, yes. There's a process that called you that you have questions to answer. This is basically the fugitive disentitlement doctrine. Yes. You disrespected that process, and according to the Attorney General, he used fugitive. Yeah. He used abscond. He used fled. Not even serving a day until you are arrested. How do you come back to that same process to vindicate your position when you are, and in fact, the Attorney General said it here that she was duly notified of what? The charges. This is it. Or say, however, a specific procedural dilemma arises when an accused person, having been duly notified of criminal proceedings,
chooses to abscond, leading to a trial and subsequent conviction.
Exactly.
In absentia.
This is the Attorney General said, you were duly notified. So if indeed you knew these facts were not as it was being presented, why did you run? And that's the Attorney General speaking.
That's right.
So for me, I think that the greatest of respect, I have my issues with the court. But I always say that
that's right.
Some way, somehow, they are supposed to be the ones to do what?
It is in their bosom.
The matter. It is in their bosom.
That's right.
So how did, but me, you just said, you know what I was surprised about? It's the 3-0 decision.
Anyway, unanimous.
I was very surprised.
So
but for me, I think that what the Attorney General done and the posture, it seems as if he's very, very upset by it. Because for him to quote,
and you
see, what is important for people not to know is that when Sedina was extradited, the U.S. statement was very instructive. Now, Jeff, I don't know, say, let me get it for you, because you see, I tell you, say, one of the things my criminal lectures will tell me that you need to do a content analysis of things, and it helps. I'm trying to get you what the court said, the U.S. court said in the extradition of Sedina Tema. It was very, very important. So it tells you that it's not see Godfrey Dami. Man for say Godfrey Dami anya dwuma yie. Godfrey Dami anya dwuma yie. With the greatest of respect, the U.S. court, the same court I'm believing in, so U.S. is the cathedral of democracy. They say something there. I've sent it to Jeff. Jeff will project it. But I make kind from forth or say, justice has no borders. The U.S. has extradited Sedina Tamakulu to Ghana following her conviction on 70 plus corruption-related charges, including embezzlement more than $6 million, equivalent in Ghanaian taxpayers' funds. This is our strong U.S.-Ghana law enforcement partnership in action, demonstrating a shared commitment to accountability and the first And the first extradition from the US to Ghana since 2009. In 17 years. A court in the US saw evidence.
Yes.
And based on the weight of the evidence, decided that for the first time in 17 years, they will extradite this woman to Ghana.
Yes.
So based on all this, I say I'm surprised. This is why I'm surprised.
Okay.
But that is one. How many minutes more?
Okay. But NC 3-0.
NC
3-0. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the Tonjona press conference.
Okay.
As at Friday, no my kind. As at Thursday, no my kind 30 pages. Friday, maybe I love from a breakdown. No my kind 48 pages. My team could do if you bear one. And I'm a team kind of cram. Me bear 1 hour. Been a media ban. So, but me who a summary by Professor Kwekwaza, and I think that it makes perfect sense based on what I usually say to have read.
Okay.
That does not mean that lawyers, you can give them 2 provisions of the Constitution. The interpretations will vary. So that is his interpretation, and that is an interpretation I usually say to agree, having read the judgment myself.
Okay.
I don't know what
yes.
So let me issue that caveat so that someone will not come and say that way, and I don't want to take credit for somebody's work. It's not my right. But Abraham Madam Senatama Kulu, he was acquitted and discharged, and acquitted and discharged basically, she cannot be charged for the same offense.
Okay.
Yes, sir. If you be left in a double jeopardy, yes, sir. It's the law of natural justice.
That's right.
You cannot trial the same person on the same charges twice. The court say acquitted me
okay.
Say be a discharge, say be a there be charge sheet the defense and cobra. But to acquit and discharge me you go say be some reviewer.
Okay.
I will explain why.
Okay.
Na 2 attorney once a man for blame Godfrey so be true statement me minimum way me blame way. I don't think me view say u blame mienu na eyeye. I also explain the document why me dream say. You see there be am jana me kase me say oral cases no. Oye attorney general deputy obetumi akasa na okasa. But at the end of the day, the person to give the verdict, to weigh the evidence you presented and what the accused person has equally presented will be the court.
Okay.
Mamu example, me YouTube channel the critical analysis. And I'm a coca say Hanan Okaya Judge Ruli what kind of letter no? Said in Qatar any problem on Kwabuchiri.
That's right.
That's what the judge said. What do you want Attorney General to do? But Qatar nani it will go UK. The judge granted.
Judge Amano Kwai.
Enti no say wo bufu na ka say bia Attorney General Godfrey Dame and I say ayenia mimi you say to them again say far fetch.
Okay.
Because they will present a case. The case is for someone to decide. As a FM who to me. Say you do never say come here to never but the decision in me. It's one listen and blame say you Juma. I don't take that decision. Kuku say could take that decision.
Yes.
So the one who takes the final decision in my view should be the one you question.
That's it. And it's very important say Nippon a court system now.
Exactly.
And nothing here can say Abaya Jai said dinner. Abaya Jai said dinner.
Yes. But I mean blame one because none be.
Okay.
Unanimous.
That's right.
Baby say you can take a because I knew because it's senior. Is that make us a mere surprise and me
that be
me surprise and every man said in that time clue. Why can't I no pay crime to say bit me because no stay of execution I because I'm very really
yeah
me but what I say
sure
into ya drain the today be make us say ya drain chere mama another example it's Dennis Miracle. You are no closer to Dennis Miracle than me you say but me can say prosecute
I don't know for better say. Now, the details ni nyina dey about exclusive analysis ni nyina on Insure Power Sports no size. One di nyina ebebro. Sabre de braso say ye de KuroYiMuNsem na poso ne de bro ma kan say wote ye nara ya assassin ni dia na che say braso say ye de KuroYiMuNsem na poso no e de bro. Ma kan say o manfo yen me no mienu ye bra e ne be kire say Ghana e be koso. Ana enkoso. I always remind you, say let it all be about Ghana. Ghana first, nothing more. Amansan chia me kwadwo bimreku atrase. Amansan bibi aboko de.
Kofi, na ye joada.
Yeah.
Na nyamia do nsiawura agas bosumi ne mobe.
Wonderful.
Yes, na say bosumi toso nwotwe wa afie mu. Nyamia ya ade.
Aka nan.
aka 9 sɛ wɔtwe ne atwa wɔtwe ne atwa agu nti aka 9 yes enti no nyame ayɛ adeɛ
afi nkyɛre ba wo
nso ntu nipa nyina Kofi no ne asɛm no ba na yi aka KuroYiMuNsem no kyɛn fried rice mu niema bebrebe nso yɛ baru ade mpa yɛ sɛ wɔde ebetwa
no correct
Kofi mi gyina me na so yi deɛ asedanko a
right thank you Kofi
sir
adwempa hene Kofi Mensa
yes sir
Dumawura
yes sir
bra bibia bɔkɔ de
Canada Roma de yanko akyɛn
right
je sɛ ɔso ho yɛ
adom ne mpaebɔ
do ba de ase
see wadom yɛn
oh yes
wadom yɛn
o ma mi week ne so yɛ kama pa
oh asedan fo ba nyame ai asedan yɛ nyame de an
we Kofi
na
we Kofi
sɛ nkasa ai
we ya mi mu ka we Kofi
we nso pɛ no ho asɛm o okay mi nka bi
ɔsoro bɛkɔ so atɔ daa
amen
ba say dia
kwamna
Kofi
ase
wɔn nyinaa o de wɔn keke
media me kwa de me nhwɛ hɔ a sɛ ya ɛbɛsa
esuma si dwa bi akɔ
oh media wɔfa sɛ esuma si dwa edo me hwɛ wɔn ɛyɛ dɛ nso media mo na sa na mwa enya tikinke ya ya te ɛ ka mi ka sɛ media meti hɔ
ɔre chiche
na no si ya do
silencio
so
ase communion no bia akɔgyene deɛ bia ate wo ho ɛbɛyɛ kama right remisa nkrata na yɛ ready ɛnɛ deɛ sɛ ɔmode bebree ba because new month na yɛtumi de hyɛ week na ase right abansan fa yɛhyɛ aseɛ
yo mate ma mefa yi krata with the punch in flasie na de entia me di flasie nya na se enkowo bi da anim ha me de pa ne nya se PURC fo wo mo ye ntem gina fo ma ye agya isi jifo bu nkane to ma ye wo mo na agya nwuma sua e fa nkane e kwan e fa so eyusu no ho no wo ma firi nkyerɛkyerɛ ase na nkyerɛkyerɛ mu flasie se ada no fiara ma no ano ne nkamufu aso de dem ene ye se o mo kɔ no mo hye ne efugu ibi ebi krampo nso hye nkamufu atare yu mu ibi na agya o mo hye kyerɛ ne ye se adai wo so da bi ya mbe ya asɔre na emom ye be ka kyerɛ mu kwan ye fa so yusu nkane ne kwan fa so tuaka ene ye se nkyerɛkyerɛ ne de nyamianum nie wo mo de awura ne nkamufu aso de dem enche bi e beti asi aso de dem nso na o baba kyerɛkyerɛ kratai wabɔ ho ama ne ye wanim ha na ayi pani we de ya na adwempa kwa fa nse o gyina sika kokɔ ho ene ye se megya mfi de anim ya no kotu ye fe papa na ta o de am bim nim nim de o say yes ampa o gyina godu ho ampa na tie asama papa wa ka nyina yetia wa se kwaku na ntie o kyerɛ mu sɛ ebra so sɛ yɛhwɛ abimam ha yɛhwɛ na ene ye Africa yɛnda achi yɛdi sika hyɛm ne ɛbɔ ho bra ɛbɛboa yɛn enya sika ne na ɛnɛkwam ne yɛdi ɛkyena ne yɛdi ada yɛ ɛkyena benya bi broni wɔ hɔ edi ɛbɛsa yɛbenya wɔ sɛ da bisa ade ne yɛnhwɛ ne yɛmbɔ no ganda we yɛntwam na agya yɛnda achi no yɛn invest wom na entimi ɛmmoa yɛn we ɛsame gyamfi asɛm a wabɔ ho ama ne yɛwɔ krata anim kasafata so miɛnsa na anim hɛ kuro yɛ adama hu sɛ so afọ na hwɛ yɛn nwoma sua ho nsɛnsɛm so no banyamfo ha na idreso da ha na ɔno nso awi kotu pa na papa yi mehwɛ a ɔkasa kyerɛ yɛn na yɛntie ne nyinaa ne sɛ nkyɛ bia ne yɛtisi abɔnte bɛka kyerɛ mu sɛ deɛ Ghana yɛduru Arabic ne China fo kasa o ne nyinaa ne sɛ agya China fo pɛ sɛ ɔmbe bia adwuma wɔ ha da nkwa ma binti no language barrier ne pɛ sɛ yɛtwa mu na yɛtwa mu deɛ ne Chinese Arabic French yɛpɛ sɛ yɛsua ɛne nkɔfo kasa ho papa na saa apa ne yɛka nyinaa wate and the word Regina Catan was a by force. It's not by force. I bet the schools near by force say, what to work there be and by force. Why? I ain't Timo Mucha da Penino, Muntia breaky, said the Baya Monsono, or say, and yet compose. But I honor me tiasia, papa. Send ya, because Aquada KG, primary no only 18 years. On to mean your decision, on to mean take a decision, man. By force,
according to your no from 18, no to me make meaningful decision. Tino to abano from 18. Okay. Now, Akwada be about 5 years. I mean 6, 7. Maybe fans up to bed 10. And you want who school them kuradi and fan is about 10 years. Or bed dena. What the key decision man say, oh, we dear me pay, we dear mempe. And I teach a best shift ya kwa for no so. Na shift kwa for no so. No, or for because me pay. Kwabanasen or pemane or the obejibia man banti ne bansua. Meme se mempe. It is a meme pedia.
Yes,
na me ba no se ye kira de a woni kwabena ba de nyina wo class wo no eno no wo be pia na so wo be pe different hours
Kofi sa kuma we dey wa but
you see
me dem who say
the implementation should be clear
tio Kofi schools ni bu o ha o kwa ye wo ebia class 3A class 3B class 3C enti ebia ye select hu say okay enkura adu ene pa
no mo do ma for different class no so mo do mu gum
really time no go senior high school general as nedos
okay
from as 1 to as 9 to 8 no bo ha no ye French me na me nye French so ati ase enti eno be
engineer per class de o mako na se hu say ha de o mo chinchin chon for no
o mo tripa 10 pe ebia ene pese ayina
wo fa
na
Dia me chere say mo so nse ko senior high school no say na French geography government ni obi ana yeye anya so be French why geography anya so be
no but no I know there mostly na one class but it's peculiar to some schools I know me one class but the only thing is that not most of the schools in there you have different.
Yes.
It say general arts. General arts for omo elective maths and omo so elective maths. And you be say be at A be at 1A be omo elective maths intino omo no omo class.
Yes.
And we musu omo class omo so omo different thing. But the issue here is that said your kwabene reason if it happens say nipa be 2 pe na 3 pe. And say optional. Let's take the worst case scenario also. On say at the end there you cannot preempt say nipa ni nyina be.
That's right.
Ebetumi abase school bi kura ho bia kura anye kura obi ama me ni nye hu be ko ban say nipa ba ku mienu mienza de wo kan wo hu de ntia me kire mu say ni say arts no ye wo difference e dey ka say arts general arts 1 general arts 2 nti de wo be apply no apply say me ko general arts 1 what they say
yes.
But we no so there o say
o state so be general
open options
then next school now run
elective maths we know ma choose okay but we know there you are all admitted already edinya say we be apply ni aka say we be choose we and I will choose we ya admit mu na say be ye sa class na e optional it is our segregation now we can say be checheche omumu no that you know any omo arrangement mu now. Maybe it's a suggestion you are bringing. Say, we are no create a different class for all those, you know. But if it happens, anybody 2, 3 pair.
A whole
class. They've brought a press release. I mean, Ghana Education Service, I bet you say a local language, you know, from KG, you know. Edico primary 3 no be your local languages no Ghanaian languages na free ho kono o ma yes ha no ma no e ka ho China ne ade na ka ho ti for now we say second point no say in the proposed revised curriculum Ghanaian languages will serve as the primary medium of instruction from kindergarten to primary 3 by teacher for no be so kire say ade we wo dada enye new say Ghanaian language e be free wo dada eti minim de Ministry of Education. So Haruna Idrisu should come clear now. China no ani ade na yede trade no nko a. Well,
I was for my young mongram our daily guide the Bokrata no emwai. Na ose Ghana for apede the Bokrata Ghana's favorite newspaper na esro no mono kwadokra di kan o daily graphic mu dada ene ode eyewura sami jamfi Ojines ka Akokoa ho samrane no gold board see you and watch us say obesre ye nuanom ne a o matu bata kwatro bi man so no munya sika amfa mbra fie na mfa mehie mpuntu nwumam so ahu na o man no eni ye na kuntunu ehwan ya na echi na ekoda cha nkwa ma oye dede ya he se bi ukọ akwantum kwa na nyame etono safro hwa de wamu baba Ghana ha etu ye de wamu bana Ghana se de ne bobreti ani a ozi wani nye osama akura ni nye ti wo bobra na bi ba osem na de bi aba o mayimu na atimi abo ho asem e wa ha na owura Sam Jonas so wo ye obi ani e ba no eye business a wo ye takom pa na ono no waka kire eye UCC suapon no se obesere wo se CC ano won mo aginim die no nim die on benya bia na wo se ye die ehu adwuma e wo hodada 2 years ago anya afi na wo ba beti on employment eye association bia bedwa abayasum unwie no na adwuma da ho twen no wanya bia ye na atimi aboa eti ono so dia wo de atodwa eno no na eye dom keto e wo mra se bedwuma no ba no dani owura afanyoma kesusu mfo nyini da ha no mo ene wo kyese eyesa tribunals court omo so ba be setene ade no wono de hu ni se ade a wo se yehwemu ye pa wo se kangaroo court ena kyese omo pese omo de ba no etie no so ho asem wo ha ene anopai na owie ye no ane wo kyeremu se anka ne abamle ni mu ni panyini oru agofedame ena wo kyerɛ se sedinam tamakura nei yese court at this charge no on do dwene ho a wonte ase kra na sembe ni edu ono de osre se kebaya ke san hwe asem ni mu biem eno ho ama ne bo enso e wo ha no mo na kwadwe abrantie bi da ha hwe na no femfem bi eni ni twinyi kusu enya nwanwa jana bodu se kakra de atase ho se mo ne nko a kwadwe se mo ne nko na akore die na ya jamusa wonu a ne yereba abanuma sadia wuken
so
abanuma be wona to so
wari na abanuma
wari ma me na fa akra na ka ho
akani akaba
ezemunu se
akani akaba
eti ya jeli no
aye kwa ka sembi
sa
enti o ma jeli
ya jeli no 10 years oko baby ade be ya de suade when in shadi anane sa
did you know that
akwada
ni ma me anso kakra nyina
pedophilics one say we nti na ma amanfo bi nti ase de nti ankrofo MP ni so wojo ki bankrofo fa ne serious.
Oh yes, also what draw attention.
Make this kind of ABR comments I fan kwada ho nyina me wale those kind of things that uputu no ma be into their minds. Right, akwada adwene nru se wo hunu awade ne sa no ma nti comment no make here no. I like it on why apologize na watwe asan. As Pennies were a role model for omo eba. And so if you make this comments obi a ono so babunu bi on so bawu say oh a good thing you know to me do not to akwada so etimi enye we nyina atwe o madwe so na opɛ ye den awade ye den akwada keto na oba no wo sua ade we bi yo ade we bi yo so papa ye ahohom 10 years in jail so enye papa akwada keto pedophilics no munja isa no ma
ne brofo no
pedophilia omo pen kwada no omo don kwada omo atinkama kwada pedophiles ye isa how no your friend pedophilia ye how
akwa hunu ne mo fra biem
I say or that ayi to was kwada enye papa so
and delegate kwajo ma wie kura no sa yamfa makoma akọ hu yo abusuafo na yen switch na yen momra mu ewo today in history na yen hwa abakosem a ewo ho ene eye osana abosom de tosom yen sa fimpi mienu na aduonu ensia eda adwada Monday 3rd August 2026 o hwe nafua na ene tosom mako aduonu ahanu ani dunum 215 days ena ene day koto a afimu ye de agu yachi aka nafua no pole wo ha ani aduonum 150 days more na yenye 365 days no e wa afimu na no matimi akonkan tu hwa na wotwe ni mu a na wotwe etoso mako aduasa mienu 32 weeks mu ne wo no ye twa 52 weeks to free mu aka 20 weeks more eda ye ni mu e de be soso na se Akokoa beka ya on 10th July may the history be a brew me catch we say on 10th July 1953 and was give Dr. Kwame Nkrumah ebodwam e Ghana yen mra sebedwam a wode eye de mra sebedwa for first motion e de koto eye edwa na ne nyina no na ye said ye be Ghana ye betime nye fa hudie eti motion of destiny osage for eco present ye catch us say history ye beto so ne ye compete osage for alle eye enei sa hihye yi ade ato eye mra sebedwam apono so na si ye betime ade ato ma na ye nyintumu no ene na eye emfisia no pole aduoso a san komo no esi people enti wo osana bosom de toso miensa wo afi apema hankron aduonum ensia 3rd August 1956 ena officially no legislative assembly no etnase so aside for Dr. Kwame Nkrumah motion of destiny no yen no so dosomu ni empen fo masibre se enhu nya se ampa
Ghana enya fa hodie then Gold Coast anase eni kwaso omunya fa hodie omo ekotwe so entonto na entonto no omo ekotwe ye no sei na won siseye asibi ekowie ye na o kire mu se na uhwam na se bedwana won mudodo no na ye 104 ana na sabre no omo edodo no etie na emu maako adioso mienu 72 on that day wo na kom na se bedwam emu maako eye aduasa mienu 32 won mo ankom na se bedwam na eba se ye de eye asam ne to prono eso no ewi ache no 72 representative wa wonum ekoye no wo nyina egitum se yes bebia Ghana adru no ana Gold Coast adru no yemfa wonfa hodie emfa ma wo mo enti no wo hye mo no chese sa 32 na wonum ankom na hyebedwam saada no wo mo no mutia enhyehye no wo mo no mufu aso enti wo mo ahye wo mo dodo no na wo mo hye eye dodo na agitum na no mo se wo mo kokra na enkosi hwe enti na wo se wo mo tena fie to wo de wo man kokra 72 na kwa na kwaji tum sampa Gold Coast ya fo mo fa hodie fa ma wo mo enti official wo mamramu na se bedwam agitum se Gold Coast enya fa hodie no ene ye official pole aduoson 70 good years na on that same day na JB Dankwa wono so edi the name Ghana edi ma yen edi replace Gold Coast na the name Ghana means warrior king. Okay. Warrior King. Na chese no eso ne abakwasem eno no.
All right. Thank you.
Etina wopamu yi.
Opam bi opam.
Oh betenase be. Bra. Ni ana me frɛ bra. Chese.
Mama fa woda pam koma me yonko ba ko ye monu show host wo.
Okay.
Christian Potem ho.
Okay.
And then about 2 years.
Your friend is it?
Your friend Brian or Tini Jesse.
Brian. Yes, Jesse.
Oh,
okay. Now, hey, I'm going to bet you more to enjoy.
I thought you Prisia.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Nah, Prisia
yes. Oh, your guy.
Never part of we are fair content.
Okay.
Or your morning show host or Pum.
Oh, that's fine. That's fine.
Station bear.
Energy.
Yes,
energy. Yeah. Okay. You know, Brian. Yeah, I would have punch it out.
Yeah, that's it. I'm on Sanchi. I'm going to be recording Kofi Mensa, of course. Ote Kwabnasonka on the newspaper review segment. My encoding komo kakra Alaska Star Enterprise. Makacho said the creation who no menina would them be fa uhia boga Alaska or the normal ba. And the creative watches ni biwa e bodano abeka se yesi dan no fry. O my ne kama bra bibia boko there.
Senior Onyankopon adom na mpacho
be microphone no ma me kakra.
Nyankopon adom na won so e.
Adom ne mpai boy ho ye pa. Right. But Alaska ho ye.
Pacho nyame adom bibia ye boko. O se be mfa ne nchi anso nye den.
Mejene so.
Emma mona particularly men na mo ase pa Akokoa.
Right.
In fact, setifo ebe hwa da bia me ba.
Yeah.
Me boss de o se me ba aseda. Aseda. No kwasem ye say ye ba be 5-6 years equal.
Right.
In fact, in Share FM Abuapa.
Yeah, that's it.
You shall see free hasi. All these years, you guswa ye de. Oh, Shira 104.
Alaska.
No kwasem ye say Akokoa. Debi ameka say ye besre omo ba ye shop say so ba na silipa na abu akamfam so amepa cho. Nya obotere ma ye. No kwasem ye say ebu a wo shop na so say nipa na begu bebre
obia pa de papa
yes in fact adwene abro just
ebro mu adwene nti
ya adwene so no kwasem yes no boss go just ya den
yeah
but nyina I say you stand for quality all these years
yeah
me boss ade ne say nya on ko fama
yeah
maybe ye de one person by crewman ebi me ko fa ebi ana Akokoa and share anya papa
yeah
one anyway to the near papa all the time among for contractor be na chire omu nyina sa ba back
yeah
entime pacho se wo pe bibia wo be siesie dem ama edem aya akono obi wura ho a obebu se uye sikani a me pacho adekọ na wo toy no ne bon enye dia me pacho de hia ne se obeba Alaska Star Enterprise
boga
Alaska Star Enterprise me pacho Alaska Star Enterprise ye wadum bebia Boss FM e wono ye ni Boss FM edanim e ho ne hia me pa ye ne Prudential Plaza na ye opposite Abrunsan ni dinde Mrs. Anoche Plaza mepacho baby attack any so bolofo e cars no ejejina no upeja wani obun say ye signboard no ye de ebo fefefe upesa friends wa your number is 0256 33 00 75 0256 33 00 75 and 0200 28 10 80 0200 28 10 80 Akokoa tama yede mabu shit ba kroma se me ba be bo wa mane wa haya no kwasem ye say onam aduma
right
onam Dubai just onam Asafo market onya shops be 5 obi am for mabu shit NCC in the shop national office
sure.
In fact, me na mayana ayeme ahoho pa. Esan say dodo na yede agya tum say mabu sheet de one ebo no wo form e na udi siesie wo shop or office baby na emho ya akono de onu no abedwin say bia mako fa paint ni no maybe na muda be den aba be siesie wo ba me pacho secret ni ye say edin no ye ba akopɛ mabu sheet enti me pacho so waje shop bi o office bi o plan say obey the obesisi ho a me pacho fatu trim say oba Alaska Star Enterprise also pede marble sheet
right
o dia mpacho fatu trim say marble sheet unya buy a shop na unya catch emrantie na omo colors your colors need design be bra ye be ya kire o dodo na ebu ha ono eba no ono atwa obi dia aba oba na se ye designs be bre na sa kire na obo so omo eden omo adrop de omo eden omo edeba ye no ebiem so tama ye de blanket se ba kroma no ahaya na me sa beda na di wo ha sei no kwasem ye say revolution no first nanka marble sheet na ye for offices nko a but then so ubura obi efie normal houses are more na use dey blank curtains ni bi ni nyina ye say ye kofa de papa ya ma ebo no so ye den e wo forma obi a betima dey atobi
right
inti pacho so pesa no ma we ya eno an so dey bra Alaska Star Enterprise
boga Alaska no
enra me kosra obi Akokoa and there was a Mrs. Subi me say oh yeah bad time kwa de wo hia sofa covers Akokoa so wonya nwe na obeka se uni madam asiesie but so won koda nko de adom besua ewo school no eno a no meden omode beba wo fie ho no in fact minipa me ko se nkunya no omatwetwurum omatwetwurum basa bana me se menua we what say maka sofa covers in one sema ene ochina tibacho so wo ye bad time kwa dia me pacho banebaji ye sofa covers ni bi no se nkunya no ye single e double e 3 in 1 e plain na e designs na opa me pacho Bora Alaska Star Enterprise mesra say ye atiefo ebe hye so say Alaska Star Enterprise ye wo adum babia Boss FM e won but ye ni Boss FM dining ye ni Prudential Plaza and ye opposite abronsa ni dinde Mrs. Anoche Plaza baby attack and a so bulofo e cars near the ejina upeja wani a ubon se den ye signboard no bo fefe fro ebrasro me pacho obetima frɛ your numbers no 0256 33 00 75 0200 28 10 80 0200 10 no 0200 28 10 80 me pacho Akokoa ring lights selfie ring lights
okay
I'm sure saying the TikTokers no mo ye sanomani nyina ha obura Alaska Star Enterprise ye hwa no omoto omo ring lights no me pacho so pese o videos de ye akono ya akono a me pacho obura Alaska Star Enterprise ehia me pa wo de wo ba size bi a wa wo pe bia de ye be den ye benya bi nso ye den ama the patch artificial grass the obekwa ye wedding say this is your akono no me pacho de hia so be there Ubora Alaska Star Enterprise.
Right.
The here me nyina say Akokoa. So pe bibi de siesie o shop, o office, o fie, edan a wako han fofora. Me pacho fatu trim say Alaska Star Enterprise. Alaska Star Enterprise. Unya bora ye hodia, de o pe bia na ebe den, ye benya bi e den. Ama me pacho Alaska Star Enterprise, me pacho ye wedum. Baby a boss FM e wono.
Yeah.
Ye ne Prudential Plaza na ye opposite. Abronsa and Dinde Mrs. Anoche Plaza. Your first floor. Baby a technical so below for a cast near the Ejinano.
Right.
Open so friends or your number is 0256 33 00 75 0256 33 00 75 and now 0200 28 10 80 0200 28 10 80 and
all right, thank you very much. In Shra 104.5 ebusia Alaska Star Enterprise at the Paneton hono ma papa no de be go adwasunti koi nane nkodi dwana bibia enye fine decoration hono ma de o mu gina mu brane pa but His Excellency John Dramani Mahama oprichi over the weekend na oprichi wa Assemblies of God na eho odinsem pinu atudwa Ringway Gospel Center Assemblies of God na men's ministry wonumu edi omoda memada ene okugina simpie su awokasa odi afutuo ni preaching suronko oba Facebook a His Excellency ne kura microphone no wo preach no tienu kakra oh His Excellency John Dramani Mahama asem no yentie no kakra se ose efutuo nkoma politicians ena ordinary Ghanaians yenya ye wo ha nyina ne yensa besom si ye bia no yenhwe ne ye sanse ewiase no ena ho kwa tie no
who I am, you know who I am, you know who I am. You go 6 feet down. And I'm on Sia. Now the cemeteries are here, you don't go 6 feet. Two people there already. So, you get 2 feet. Who am I? You know who I am. 2 feet, not even 6 feet. And so let us return to the faith that built our homes, our churches, and our nations.
Ewa nana sem ne say enipa wo ye den ya obewu eye 6 feet wo ye den o sorry a uni me na me ye sei he wo ye MP wo ye hwan mampani preaching wo se wo bewu 6 feet no crazy wo se asase na sa edieze no bebre kura o ha o mo de ne ya ni 2 feet o yade wo kwhye no obi hye ho dada ntino o de ne e pia nchen kakra nti uba Facebook a His Excellency na e preach no and wo kire se yenfa ye de ye wo ye mu ade nyina ne ye gidie no mfa moa one ye boa ye busua ne ye moa oman no so ye nwene wo man no ho about the nation ne ye mfa nkyekere wo man papa aha na wutie no a he's telling you say baby a wugina bia no ma wani enku se ekina bi ebia na woni ha biem 6 feet eda homa obia matie ni nyina na it was a wonderful sermon with examples of them you can go and watch it because of time na His Excellency Emma Sefutu kwamna obi politicians intia no omo wo saa adwene no wo mutrim se ne all pay nyina no omo asabi omo wia wo man omo boye kro no omo nso mbewu agya ho de
dada Mahama de masori ba no
ai se ag
na se eno na waka no on se you are so for be muka say unti the America mama hwe the meye but it's very important say one kasa so obema okra ho ahia o okra nkwaje ho ahia o nti wutu amanfofo no na wodwene mo so de ho because be ya se ubetu efo na nipa beko so ahenia mu na so ahema mu na wo de ube find yourself wanting somewhere else but as you said politician there na afenya making can be say politics and any kind of
or say spiritual
into spiritual na all cano where he situates it and no dey won one trimu obi anim adwene or June in Trim no be any. Say yes, spiritual say we go a side.
Yeah.
And I say we pe bambo bi o baby. I on one him. But I am the president akasa asemi.
Yeah.
If indeed they know say o baby kodia. They will say to in a
It's true.
Because nema e cost we ho no. Sanka wo nyina ya aware of sa eye asemi a. Ovinka e kwa animo.
Also on the flip side of this particular message.
Yes.
Say wo tie no kire say no matter how abi pija wo hu bia.
Yes.
O baby ko.
Ubeba form.
Oh baby ko.
That's right.
That unime. A hand time. He was talking about a hand time.
That's right.
That is it. Ubia. I mean, baby, I will be an who say oh baby ko. Enti emfa positions is synchrofo. Say we a politician, yama MP. Where we are yama minister, where we are common fan bar, fan ye just say oh Debbie. Also beko. But I like what you said.
Yes.
Say wa kind of so fast sound.
Fast sound.
I message in the bar and come man.
What has it?
Was what they ban.
Aha. I can't have it too. Say.
Na once I can be actually who no more ben will say.
Because you can say politicians didn't be restitution. Say or sacred na drink to or sana drink na otimi edi e fa kwan pa no so go fi come meet me.
Na who say we as who say oh baby kwa when mmere no ma bibiri.
Bida.
Yeah, when mmere no ma bibiri. Say I don't think say ana politicians. His Excellency message no to all Ghanaians and of course Womwa the BBCC no the appointees and everybody.
Yeah.
Humble yourself. Then when you say nipa wo baby. Okay, Shra 104.5. But another one I boy kakra ye hu se no ma ekoso ahenema kokobin to anwian kwanta ekwan no wo mo egusu aye na wo hwe se de esiko na nimu no a in fact kudos to the rules ministers who tie na sa that stretch na very very dangerous and na enye kra in fact afro na ya oma start here I think say omo ye you know just wo hwe oba Facebook be very good and then unim sending nyina nso no just say we regional minister mu poli so say why are there Dr. Frank Amwako hine and then say o try na mu push you on say yewra governs aboda wono beboaye so that is good to about Facebook also my twetwe you know
I unkofo bi kwa do say omo as a washing baby o hona
I omo person I think so my class area hono kra omo twe omo afro nti ezise kra no adem na isu to na ha dwene kakra but omo tumi nti kudos to the road minister onko so amo Ashanti region Ashanti rules ni here pa. Absa Bank, your story matters. Absa Bank, your story matters. Eba eye sikasem to tue nyina no a Absa ebeboa pa.
On the 19th of January, yes, when in the 12 days, and what 8-member committee to do a constitutional review exercise. So they will go around the country, canvass the views of people, put it in a recommendation, that the government will also have a say. At the end of the day, constitutional reviews are the BS of the executive, no matter how you look at it. Yeah, Prof. Mills started the Fiajo committee, President Kufuor started with the Clabberry committee, and at the end, Yabenya H. President of CDD. Okay. Now, we share the full video, but I think that people will get a better perspective when they look at the entire document. Dawson is a 68-page document. We take it time read it will help. So the committee na Professor H. Prempe na Dr. Reina Akumpriga Metidi no French the former justice of the Supreme Court of Adenia Professor Kwame Kakari Charlotte was a former EC chair the Dr. AC Ansan Alaji Ibrahim Dr. Gordon Jokotomi 8. Now the key ones are about Matatina no Ebini so we just go to through some of them. Now who say me I don't know why even the Supreme Court is entertaining this matter on Article 66. It's two terms is 2 terms. Let nobody bring any Ghana.
Say consecutive.
Ghana, say 2 terms. Sure. Mahama we dewi. Uni baby
we did 2 terms.
And one. Obi interpreting is anka oma. Ti yenjem verse oni nya isa dia. Or say the committee recommends amendment of Article 66(1) to extend the duration of a president's term from 4 to 5 years. The committee also recommends an amendment to Article 1131 and 2 to extend the term of Parliament because it has to go
in tandem.
Concurrent, right? No, in tandem. In tandem is not concurrent. You know, presidential term now 4 years, and they call 5 years. My view on this, I've struggled to give a view even on my channel. I think that I'm here to see a compelling reason.
Okay.
What you cannot do in 4 years, I doubt you can be able to do it in 5 years. That's my view. I'm here to see someone to
convince
me on the argument.
Okay.
I'm yet.
Yeah.
I don't know. So convince me.
No. My grandmother even called me. Maybe Nana friend maybe say me say we are. And I'm say, hey, I was watching over 5 years and no.
And people are saying that it will be it won't start from President Mama. That's not how it happened. It won't start from President Mama. It will be anybody after.
Yeah.
That's how it is. Laws do not take a retrospective
Yeah.
effect. He was elected based on this position. So if you amend it will not take a retrospective effect. Yes. Now they also say that the minimum age, on Article 62B, now 40 years. And a committee, the committee recommend amending Article 62B to reduce the minimum age of eligibility for election as president from 40 to 35. The current minimum age of 40 government position here excludes qualified citizens from seeking the highest office on the basis of an arbitrary age threshold. Reducing the age to 30 years is consistent with the trend in modern democratic constitutions towards greater inclusivity. A citizen who is old enough to serve as a member of parliament should not be constitutionally barred from contesting for the president on account of age. The president, 40 constitution currently, committee recommended 35. I buy as a 30. Because parliament, I think 18, right? 18.
Yeah.
21.
Okay,
21. So we bet make a parliament that question and say, yeah, why can't the person be president? That's the yardstick with it. So they brought it to 30. Then so you give me chum. It's into me, but just from one. Now my head say, meet me a
it's me a good dibia. Anya bad.
And now, I said, bad. I say,
anya bad.
There be about them 50. I said, presidential ambition was when in the year. See him in the
tall order.
Some say him $1 million. So, with Mama Bear 50
million view in your bad. Any problem.
You two to microphone. Again, Omoka said, also Kenya.
Yeah.
I like the Kenyan system. I've forgotten the time, but they have a very defined timelines for presidential election petition.
Okay.
Now, the committee is saying that they should amend Article 63(2)(a) to provide that presidential elections shall be held on such day in the first week of November. They say November, but the specific date, say maybe it was 7 December, that day the EC will decide on that. Now, presidential election petition, Article 64. Once you the first one in 2013, to August 29 August.
Yeah.
I call for almost 10 mama intimidate any major decision. Those things have a bit. Also, when it comes to the economy, there's some kind of perceptions. There's some kind of believability. So when this idea is shaky, almost say no. Say your election results now. You have 14 days. To challenge the results. Then the Supreme Court must sit on the matter in 30 days. I think it's fantastic. And see there. See, everyone say they about November. Everyone saw the 27th November. You keep here 7 now.
Yes.
Meaning see a election roughly around 10. See the nana do 2-3 days. Everyone by 11 p.m. so we are worried. By easy on one end Juma say so cool.
Yes. Kenya dey now kind of 7 days.
7 days for petition.
Yes. 7 days.
That's fantastic. It's say you man say be born the 10th frana or between 10th to 24th say 2 weeks to file the petition.
Okay.
Now Supreme Court to sunya petition now they have 30 days, so meaning that by the time we are swearing in we are clear at the end of
sure.
And now when you are swearing president that there's an issue about the legitimacy any major decisions there. I think it's fantastic. One of the things that outright I support.
Okay.
And I also feel say November also be boy because I had that transition it's an accusation you can say in your way. You can say we say as a confronted you cool. We say catch the way, we say and catch the way, we say cry for me. And you see that position, I still hold that position. And media and young crying fault. I cry peduma.
Yeah.
Saka 1 hour crime will be through office no money.
That's right.
So the issue is not about Newton Taylor to every action. There's an opposite and equal reaction.
Yeah.
Before you look at the reaction, look at the action.
That's right.
Who initiated the employment procedure? That is the problem.
Okay.
Because I'm going to say a punish woman, not in Kolana or no Nukonia Jumano. What I say? I choose it. So I say, Newton tell me I'm a science today. To every action that Okukuseku, or frame say, Massa, BBC, the BBA, but men from Marco sign class.
Simple cry. I feel maybe say
no pedumano. As a baby, a crabby or one who's shame there's own crab bonnet and penny for bonnet.
That's right. That's
your
it.
generation is raising.
That's it.
It's the old generation if failure, yeah, feel.
That's it.
So that's it.
That's it.
That's just by the side. Now, conditions of service of the president. They say president will pay your tax. the so me to tax you to me to be when you go
what I say
I'm feeling
la
Nanze me call baby na mo airport na unim say sorry that unim say current regional constituency organizers most of them
I would love it not say Yankee Puni say no international because it looks like comment you want to infuse it but Montana na yen ni nkomo
senior obet ma correct unim say constituency who's that but to do me in the back or say I'm not
okay let me
do back unim say current constituency organizers no abrechu mom no me nadmo directors me bi tiam kwet most na youth organizers akọ why
yes
na ba ko frame the youth ebre mint me metro feed wo de wano mo den kaduma me 12 months and my na me frame pani bi ka Eugene yen so de my na say wo de my ba na say ya party bi a wo ye no amakra yo ko
what you say
so de ampa so then ha master ko mom de no na president mama to do the person pay no di eh ya de bo am ye
David
amom yo ki
ma ka say
President Mahama bosomeso o musembo se ne salary
David
government architecture in a position ba kwa me view enye kwa man for pro MP enu ansa me te kokobe na me twam ayiwo Michael Edu.
And let me tell you one thing. Let me tell you one thing. You see, sometimes we pretend to be fighting corruption. Let me tell you, President in you may be Ohio. Scania, the good Ghana must go Muneba. Let's not pretend.
Wow.
Oh, but that's the truth.
Wow.
I'm telling you the reality. Let me tell you.
A general perspective, no share.
You're a hypocrite.
Sure.
Politicians.
Now, are you doubting it? Yeah, who MPs who biomo car boot election time who bio car boot. No, we have seen so many things.
I'm not blaming Mahama. So keep.
And that Mahama, you blame no. You are blaming the system.
Please, I'm telling you this. Me say let's not pretend. The salary seminar.
No, but you see, senior fan. You see, the point is even making it that look at MPs for example.
Oh, what they know and fuck off from it's a drop in
no, what I mean about that, they look at their salary and himself public.
Okay.
That's around 30,000. But Oman by your interviews now, quite year weekend now. This kind of bobo. So it tells you that I'm a senior man so can. That's why I've always believed that me you say to independent. Chairman Sani said that's one kind of correct.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ways to fight corruption is political party financing.
Wow.
The day we get that thing right, declare how you are getting this, like they do in America. You cannot bring, you cannot get it.
Yeah, time. Yeah,
okay.
Man to be a sena, yeah, the 5,000 bread party. NDC, man to be almost the 20,000 bread party.
That's right.
Mumusa party ni million so many scanaway.
So no way.
Mumusa so many scanaway.
We are party in party.
Why are we pretending?
Party in money making venture.
Political party finance. In fact, there's a provision for that. See, let me get that for you. There's a provision for that where now it's a presidential immunity. So no, sir. Now continue recommend says the president Mama Teswa, the president Kufuor that we take a civil action against presidency. Say we the alien don't mean to. I'm saying the Mumungu. We will be the president and the civil matter be the no matter. Again, I'm here say presidential term limit to the Maka. I don't say president minister MPs no so. I'm the court 300.
Yeah, I'm a capono. I'm a capono.
About 200.
Not 24 year.
There's still an opportunity to add about. About 14
you know where the problem is. I don't blame the EC, the current reading of the law. You see, it's not gerrymandering. EC is supposed to create constitution based on certain requirements.
Yes.
If that requirement is met, a constitution like Bosomtre, it's not municipal, based on population. Yeah. So maybe it's not them that create the constitution.
Anyway,
it's how the current law embodies them. Because for me, for example, how do Ghana have 300 MPs? Now let's not forget.
Fedianim Osronim, Akokoa Tenase.
All right, in Shra 104.5. Ebusunya betumi join in Facebook here live on so YouTube na fe yeni Ghana enkomo. Baby a wo bia no. De bia me ka kire say it should all be about Ghana. Na ade ba ko oman bia e de ye ne nchekireye. Ana etimi mo ban bia etimi kɔ nanim kese eye ne mmara anaasɛ mmara pon a ɛbɔ ɔman no ho bra. That's the constitution of that country. Ɛdeɛ nti ne yɛyɛ mmara sɛ ɛbɛyɛ a ntotoyɛ ne nhyehyɛeɛ bɛtumi akɔ ne kwan so because wowɔ interest mesumi wɔ interest obi nyaayɛ anka ɔno deɛ enka Ghana sika nyinaa yɛmfa megu na accounts mu no wɔnyusu but the mmara wɔ hɔ sɛ yɛwɔ kwan ɛfa so yɛyusu ɔman ne sika obi nyaayɛ a enka ɔno so bi a keka akwan mu kura aka ase fa nyinaa no da a wɔpɛ no otumi kɔ block ka sɛ hɔ ɛne wɔde bɛyɛ ne bedroom ɛno nti mmara wɔ hɔ sɛ etimi ɛyɛ nhyehyɛeɛ ɛbɛboa makuru ɛne ɔman mpuntuo atumi akɔ nkan but Ghana yɛma mmara mfie bɛbura duasa a yɛde anante mu a ne ade a yɛde kɔ yɛde mu no yɛhu si yɛma mmara no mpanin so wodunso gu fa ku atwahuro saa nso na mmerɛ ɛdane a odane wo ho ensusua ne adwene a amambra no mpanimfoɔ gyina so a yɛde kyekyereyɛ a yɛde hyɛ kabi ma minka bi amamuo ase no ɛbrɛ ɛkɔ nanim no yɛhu sɛ abɛɛfo ensɛm a ɛba mu ɛne no ma ɛkɔ ne ntie twa sɛ nsakyerɛyɛ ba mu sɛ bɛyɛ a yɛbɛka ne sɛ the modern day no yɛbɛtumi afite very well na de mpuntuo ɛde abrɛ nanso ne nyinaa akyi no yɛhia mmra nsakyerɛyɛ a ɛbɛboa na asundwie ene nkankro edimu se yehwe ye 1992 constitution over 30 years eka hu bi ena ama ye wa asundwie a ye wo oman mu enhyehye ye wom fa kwan a ye fa so a ye to yaba ekwan fa so ye nhyehye ye bi no e kire wo sese ye timi abedrum pempenzuwe na asundwie wo ho no a ye wo no ma bi wo ho no a ye ye ho nsakyerɛyɛ a etwase ye hwe ne yie. Me say the 1992 constitution no enye se eye entirely ineffective ananse enye papa but enoma bi wo ho a ye free se mre dan nti ye nane ye ho kakra no eno nkyere se no ma bebre wo ho a ese ye koye a ede wo hawo ede bebre wo man no ne na no pay me be se oba Facebook the Constitutional Review Committee, omo reports, akwakoma ban, said ye emra echere no. Ne kobane sa, aban suma ne lawyer penny, ehwehwem na omo di ho enkomo analyze bibia. Enti Attorney General, or say each recommendation a womo ye bia no sa aban jitu mu so anya ntum bia no. Ejina wobu hwehwemu o maye ne duso omodoso no ahwehwe hu se we di aban pe we di aban pe and when it comes like this the government of the day aban a wote so sa abre no and will make it that decision na womu ateki that decision no say we di yehwe a ebeboa we emwa. Currently, the Attorney General ya aban lawyer penny kire se aban no wo so atena se ahwe mu ahu se bi wo ho a wo mo gitum bi so wo ho a wo mo nyintum. I just want you to listen to him shortly. Na afi ye wi a ne ebobo ho ne ye di ho nkomo. Nti the Attorney General of the Republic of Ghana ekasai yentie no kakra.
Position on the final recommendations of the committee, government examine each recommendation against the relevant provisions of the 1992 Constitution of the Republic of Ghana to assess the nature, scope, and implications of the proposed amendment. Each recommendation was then subjected to rigorous constitutional and legal analysis, including whether it touched on entrenched or non-entrenched provisions of the Constitution, and whether its underlying objective could be achieved through other legislative or administrative means. We also examined the recommendations in light of the work of prior constitutional reform commissions or committees, such as the report of the 2010 Constitution Review Commission, in order to ensure continuity and consistency in the reform process. As I've noted earlier, when I submitted a draft position paper to Cabinet, extensive deliberations were held and each recommendation was interrogated, weighed against the practical experiences of our country, and refined before Cabinet granted approval to this position paper. I have underscored the importance of this process in order to highlight the fact that the position paper being published today is not the product of one ministry or one department of government, or a group of technocrats sitting somewhere in a corner and working at it. On the contrary, it is the product of the considered thoughts of the men and women who have been given the honor.
Enti utia we the Attorney General aban lawyer penny ono kura ya yesoafo hwe atentene ne ho nsem so ene wo kire se wono mo eka wani hwe mambra na ye wode eno no Parliament betimi aye nsesan ebra ede betu o manimu a ede ye wode nso eka na entrenched position eno de je se ba ma amanfo no ye Ghana fo no ye kire ya dwene se ye gituma na se ye nyintum na eno no ye friend referendum no etimi koso enti wo kire se o ma kai ni nyina hu se de eba ye ne bi wo hodo mo etache on eye de se Ghana fo nyina kire o ma dwene de nso bi wo so ese ko Parliament no mutimi di 2/3 majority timi puchi eko ni nyina ho asem wa kire but se wo hwe ba ko aka ho a eno ma beye miensa enan bi a mehu ni se ese ye hwe ni yie ebi nso betumi akọ eye referendum ni mu a edu wa Ghana for yen ye be kire ya adwene na ese yetimi hwe ni yie. That's what I'm talking about. Ye be ko Parliament ye other ones na 2/3 majority di be decide ne de eno de aban a wotosuo wo majority enti eduru ho no mu a ene ye ne yekọ but ye Ghana for de be kire ya adwene no ba ko a edikan eye the presidential term je fato subame se wo hwa neo committee no eka ye ne se wonu mususu se eni adwenkyira abache se 4 to 5 years mampani bi adi mfie 9 the article 66(1) no owo pese ye extend eko 5 years eba ye na ban gitum say enko 5 years and the reasons that are binding my no ene wase ho no or say the government accepts the recommendation to extend the presidential term from 4 to 5 years. It also accepts it accepts in principle the corresponding extension of parliamentary term to 5 years. Inti emraso bedwafo ene mampani term ni nyina be 5 years instead of 4 years. Now or say a longer term provides more realistic time frame for the formulation, implementation, and assessment of government policy. The current 4-year cycle limits the period available for governance as the early months of each administration are consumed by transition, while the final year is largely focused on elections. A 5-year term will afford the president and members of parliament greater opportunity to deliver on their mandates. And what I was minimum year no so be 30 years. It yateso in fear so di ansa no women panino 40 years near about 30 years. Secondly, my problem has to do with the 5 years. But then argument in say president biaba na afie di kan no or the ye ede hwehwem na aban dada no a okọ no one ne eye ensusuye ne ade ansa na wono no aye ne ntwetwe ede agu akwam edi yema wo mo sabre no. But you see, longer presidential term no enya no automatically it creates better leadership and a better economies. Osha ye wa amanya wo mo akọ manimu a omo di yie and so omo ye 4 years without stronger checks and balance no ye betimi ama president a term 10 years e wo Ghana but 10 years no ntimi fa nya hwe ye betimi in 20 years ama ne 10 years say ye nya that discipline, that checks and balance, and your leadership, Ghana, we can give 5 to 10 years, we will still gamble. Now, they may kind of say, and then you feel say, and no my ye kakra, the ye who no ye kakra, and the one year additional 1 year, no dia tum. Say, ye jitum na, unfortunately, ye benya a stubborn or very wicked president anu adenia the waiting period before elections no abeye additional 1 year ebrini bia bekam. So what exactly would that particular 1 year no ebe ade? We've seen presidents omo serious somebody juma the 4 years is enough. The United States of America, world's largest economy with strong institutions. The America economy said the institutions are strong. And with 4 years, America still dominating. With 4 years. Brazil, 4-year term, major economy. When you go to Switzerland, 4 years. Chile, 4 years. All of them are doing well. Stable democracy with Chile, they are all doing well. 4 years. So we don't need 5 years to prove anything. Say president to be a serious so babetina kunya so edi actually a proper leadership. Ese wa prepare no hu firechiri. Enu ntina players e wo field the so ball no ye be ye substitution a ye mo sorry no mo ye warm up. Edi entia obewura mu no heat dada no the heat na be wura game no. So if you are an opposition leader, a potential president, it just say uwe chire no uhunu omo a wo ne omo be ye adwuma dada. And the appointments will not be a problem. It shouldn't take you 6 months to do appointments. You should have all of them on paper before you even sit on the seat. When we give you 3 months, because of that, 5 years. Now, as a president, what difference? Macho said America 4 years is still the world's largest economy country or konanim. And I've told you about Switzerland, others. And Ghana no 5 years no. What difference in Kwa? What Ghana needs any extension of term. What we need is a selfless president. Onye pesamin kumya, onye onwan kasana ho, enye ni bottom, enye ni party ho, nemu mobile Ghana ho. That is what we need. We need a president or thinking about national development. Now, my nanka say yetnase. Na National Development Commission, yenya development plan. Said ye China yeno. China say every 15 years it be a my plan at all. Your president or your wayu. Woba to means sano. I just said China achieve that vision. And only a teacher of mine. But on my Ghana no ye the party manifesto and a teacher. Yen said the new national development plan. Naka president be a bani your plan da you even 2 years you can do magic. What we need is a long-term plan as a country. And then we need strong independent institutions. And that's right in Tabayebu. Iyoko Leoni Nemua and Omokase akoye bebre susu so omo political witch hunting because aban institution akoye to say ya appoint you will be free aban no awabam de diniko si position a hwe sa adwuma no so nti gidi a yebenya wo institution ni mu no eni ho but sen can Crawford rise from the ranks na kedru sa position na no matter what it is so obechewo a wonka say aban foforo abanti no obechewo. So we need independent institutions who can fight corruption amayen and ekra dey say shiraje kra corruption fight anti-corruption fight mandate no kra ye beje through the review amoma focus on rights ne hwan. The judiciary, the police, because President Ibano appointed IGP, on one appointed Chief of Defense Staff, on one year, they all have to please their masters. They are appointing no be pleasing. But when we have independent institutions, about working here, which is free from political interference. Now you have strict anti-corruption laws. Uko China, mese woje bribe kura yebe kun wo China. That's the penalty. Yebe kun enti usro. Their former ministers have been sentenced to death any adi because of corruption. Enti uko China usro so be wia oman ni sika. Se oman ni betu mpon we don't need 5 years. Ye hia empanimfo a wo medwene Ghana ho ache wo mo ankasa pese minkumnya na wo mo party. Na beti bibi party hieska. No mind the own yeska party yeska adwene ne yede betena so edi akonwa na beda no mind to mpotu ma ne 10 years kura adwene ne ye party yeska enya o mind ne yeska enti de bebre o mind ska no obese no adwene party ho. With all those things I'm mentioning in places no yenya long-term development plan president or yes selfless institutions ye independent work actively. I may say we don't need 5 years. By yanya sa no ma we nyina opa me president ni 10 years 20 years o mai ba bia yigina na yebegina ba bia yigina. The real issue a leadership failure, weak systems and a national attitude ye mu bia do no ansem nyina ye de aye politics wo mai mu. That is our problem. We don't lack years. We lack discipline, patriotism, and accountability in your lack. If we don't know. So, media, when that thing comes out, me, I'm somebody who is against it. So 5 years. And I've shared my opinion. We don't need more years. I've showed you economists are anymore. Or we used to 4 years. Now to the ministers of state. I didn't hear system ministers. Because constitutional review, they say, say we should have already when I was say, yenya 57 ministers, the cabinet 19. And in Kanya, you multiply cabinet number no by 3, then 57. Na adwene be ye mo ho miensa. No me de afadwene aboa wo mayi. Afei aban ne se onte ase enye nuntum. Article 78:1 no. Waje atum se ministers ne de ye bete so de. Ye be ye nsusu ye be kapo. Na emom no ye mfa nko 60 instead of 57 no. Na me bisa ye wradom ne ka ye ne aban se sa 3 na be ka ho no wo special purpose no ye de. That's 3 now become woman na 60 special purpose no yede. Because me cry kami an kanyana kura ministers ni ye hia dodo ayehwe. There were 16 regions. Ye nya 16 ministers for each of the regions. Ni apebe ya 10 before some ministries ni bi o cry say kika bom te say man pani ba o kika bi bom no. Faso ni bi so. Faso ni bi so. Then we sum up say ye copy 60 ministers. And you good to say a couple because your president will be choose over 100 into a couple near the sea baby a year. But the review said 57. I buy so the 3 count and business said the 3 never count. What a magic and as a 3 never yet dear shame. It's not about the size of government. It's too expensive to have more ministers. Omoka yen ye fuelu. Omoka ye fuele almost salaries, allowance, cook, drivers, wine, omo esho umina. The staff omo ye juma. And the more we have these appointees, these ministers, no, or mine council and their cost, and the taxpayer and they fund the political reward system because say Ekobani say ya obia job for the boys, obia benya baby ashe, and now mine yen yedi to 8 year. So what difference would this make? And Ghana is running 2 to 4 times more ministers per population size, or compared to other major economies. Or compared to other major economies, you're running that. USA, over 300 million population people within the states near there. They have 15 cabinet secretaries. China, 1.4 billion people population, 26 ministers. Senka omo hwe yinuswa omo ehwodomwa territories 26. South Korea 52 million people no about 18. Ghana 33 or 34 no yen persist they are den. You see, some of these things is because yen shada nyine wo man no ye dwene de yen ye pe ebe please yen as a political party. And the next one meka ho asem, the last but one I find a problem with is the election of the MMDCs. Me support to say yen elected MMDCs. Government is also support to. Or say government backs election of district chief executives. A good say you be elected omu because aban ko appoint a lot of issues and ni po be appointing no cry na ko yen SMP. But aban wajia tumsi yen to aba. O sa say president ne be say yi nipa 5. Na nipa 5 no ya pe committee ya betena se ya numti asa ma allowance ya bo ma yi mu 3. Na ya to omo so aba. What is this? Then you say we there a selection process which is controlled from the top. Ya than the debre. As what to anu ma hu awie na de abasa abo abedi no the same thing. Because bi anka ye community ni mu ankasa kwabna ye mpe no. E bi anka ye pe abostic. Ba mampani si meyi kwabna ba. Nipa miensa kura bi obeyi omu nyina kura na omu nya nkrofo a omu bua community na community fees omu hia omu ba mampani ayi omu so na ewo list ni mu ese ye to omu so aba de won peno an ye de abrew nti in a way no ye try say democracy ne ye de bre ba enye democracy no mampani na ayi ne ye de abesiwo wa hwemu ayi na enum ono de openum nye de manfo ne pe wase wo. So that particular aspect of it no say ya je atum yenkoto aba ne de ba mampani na ne be nominate nipa 5. Near you 3 I bet was we pre-approved political list naba controlling from the top. Yeah, this guy is as democracy. This is not democracy. And in Anka, Narado Danko Kufuado, the Anokrananke, you because all the crowd was a political party via the rep beba. I don't care MPP, the Nipa, but with the Nipa no man, ye or Peswood in Manasa as you recline. Or send a Kadanka, Mampeni, Danado, the Anokrane, and I agree with him perfectly. Me say mampeni bebo die yi nipa 5 na ehu hia say ye be ha ye ho se ye kotoa because mampeni na yi o maba until election no faso be na wo so say ye na ye yi ade dia that's fine a nipa no bi begina ya veti wo mo kama de opeso wo bia bane ya veti wo mo kama ne ya yi na afei yetumi ayi wo mo asi wo se manfo no we mu na qualify say o mu gina mu that is fine but say mampeni na say be nominate the same thing because already you nominate no the abana assembly members no mo represent ye no atwo mo so aba because assembly members no brono bia so mo gina ho manfo ni gina e no mo koto aba e ma wo nomination no de wa nominate no o mu yi no and you know what difference does this make? The same thing pre-approved list near the abegu. Now the last one I think I find a challenge with is the dual citizens. Ye ma omo kwan se o ye Ghana ni sa ye US ni wakoje akoswe se wo ye US ni osanso ye Ghana ni akoswe se wo ye China ni osanso ye Ghana ni akoswe se o ye Australia ni osanso ye Ghana. That's dual citizenship. Ye kai papa die MP Jasi Kwesi edie no se ehu die si ye se na die ye yi sa de na firi wontu obi eko gitum se o wadi nsi akantam se o ka America ho obebo America o ka ayi bi ho no obebo a o mu nyina no sa nkrofo ni nyina no se ye to aba ana se otumi gina se MP a preposition bia wo mam. And the challenge is that dual citizenship no se onipa no bedi bone a yemfa kenoforiata any even said nam dia na nko obebe yemfa to ho extradition kwan ye befa so a se di pa no so obe transfer no odi edwirim na obu ni ketemu kwa oye ho citizen no. How do we even get them to come back and account for the omaye? Because they ofri ho or ho passport or man ho so a won ekoro ye citizen. If nothing at all, the kind of Uriata issue should advise us. So when you a green card crash, said you can once a while. In my opinion, Council of State and so Atroko must speak up Abin. Jeff Fatus Mami advising say, sir, dual citizenship no ebe hadwene, and I agree with them. Oma Trako must speak up Abin say, sir, dual citizen no omu Council of State na Atroko. And I agree, say there's a problem. This as idea ebema omo kwan ombedi edwirimu a obetumi akotra oman foforo so ni se wotwe na ba no na akoye dene. These are some of the challenges. We need to look at it very well in the review, and I think that Ghana for nyina nso we have to take note. The year entrenched in the bar we need to decide. In 104.5 Kwabena right. Yeah.
Yes. Ghana wants nsem there.
Yeah.
Now, oh yes. Now, in fact, me more abanya baso. In fact, they started from late President Mills. So, late President Mills was one person. And personally, me penasem power because of the character and the demeanor. On the started as I review, and do baby no. Professor Asare they call Supreme Court and Supreme Court release President Yem from Zobia say obey review because or challenge the president's power to set up the committee or obey review in the constitution and citing say was in parliament mum and also initiated sudden but the Supreme Court said President Yem from Zobia and a beto Mahama Betua, so President Mahama Betua, so young with the I have a very voluminous book, Bia. In fact, the recommendations on any I didn't know that. and our ways to to us President Mahama Abe is good.
Yeah,
we have started from somewhere.
Yeah,
just as you said. As Oliver Twist, we always ask for more.
Yeah,
so there's more room for improvement. Until where the a document, the best president recommendations be our fire. United States of America, Congress. In fact, since the friend is saying the ratification of their constitution in 1789. I can say make 11,000 proposals. Out of the 11,000 proposals, 33 in a Congress due to now of the 33, 27 and more ratify constitution. And I think that we started from somewhere, and then we will always ask for more. Say because we don't know the next opportunity for a review. And the best president now be 7 said correct
a very correct one.
Now on the kind of presidential term, you mentioned some foreign countries. Yankasa Africa countries are almost more than 4-year term. And go see you,
Papa Benaba.
Who mentioned Republic of Congo?
Congo.
Okay, more governance problems.
Because of
rich country.
Yeah.
Synonymous with Africans. Mentality no. More time. In the United States, transition starts.
What started?
Yes, swear being president. I see.
Yeah.
Transition ended.
Yeah.
There's no room for any transition. Just as you said,
yeah.
And it's how 1 year no. Me who the adebia. Me know ya say me who adebia 1 year no. The other day, I made crown with the 70+ frame. Na anti community 1 year no nti den pa na be ye na say mama boo. You see, Ghanaians, I am glad is an entrenched position.
Yeah, which we need to share our opinion.
Very good. Say parliament and a vote on it to take. Any they will have their way because they have the majority.
It's true.
I am glad it's an entrenched position. We will have a say.
Sure.
We will go and vote.
Yeah.
Say you did 2 and I say and did 2. Equatorial Guinea 7 years. Where the Equatorial Guinea the also.
Now we come people have to donate and
you understand? Sad. Central African Republic. That was 6 years. Conflict Ecosoa. That's a Ghana and then can situation here 6 years and 5 years. Now you see, so the tenure duration
does not depict. Yeah.
Obama said, "Let your systems work."
The institutions,
and if we saw cancer assembly and even the military, our defense system, has been tampered with.
Yeah. Now the chief of defense staff. As president they are appointing on.
You understand?
And the whole lot.
I agree. Say and yet a mredo do no abedino.
Yeah.
Nemum adwene
obey selfless.
Now
I dream of mine.
Very good.
Yeah.
The president should think about these things. On who ye pa. Asema o kan ya nanka me hwese nka bi o de be adwuma eno no emoluments committee now so be set up for article 71 of his holders no
and also be set up because one of the things and abolishment
yes eno na me ba hokofi me ne nya so be set up committee for what you promise say ube here free but say when omunyan azumu power ni wi no mu say then say more there na fe munya second thought and only galamsey a problem new galamsey they indeed when they were outside they saw it as despicable yade enkoye bususam
there's a Ghana opposition bi anim nyansa
what you say but when they came into power you know what I didn't say you bet me I didn't papa bi wo mo they get a second thought please your excellency. Yes, the mobile have way no air the Modebeko Parliament and then entrenched though. And because you have the majority.
Okay.
But wait dear, we will have a say because we would have to vote.
Yeah.
We will have to vote. Then I will select Nipa enum dia base yentu on swaba. Say the kwesi coach na kwentia.
Yeah.
Because you have so many options but ebia pese obeyi baako na yakase bia why bias. Enti ene munyina mo nkone entum so abai. No, I think the president to think through this.
Right. But I say, over.
Yeah, Akokoa. My mature na mature phone na.
Mejozo.
baby here make a sepa it's about the decentralization.
Yeah, MMDC.
Yeah. Say we say nanado dena no what can say. It was said the
party lines.
The district chief executives must be elected on party lines.
Yeah. TBI MPP, the Nidiaba, we the Nidiaba.
With that, no. We say anybody break I say the answer a party now and but no I think say some coin say we are independent person. Now you say within that district we are popular. We team contest win.
Yeah.
Because even in the heat of this MPP and this independent candidates emerge from a lot of constituencies. So I think says no year about.
Yeah.
But when you look at the new CRC4D or mukene NDC4D proposals or modi be ya say president ni be hwe no yi nipa 5 na ya to no so aba no Akokoa media misusu say e yakwasi ko no ogina kwantia because it's the same thing. Because at the end of the day, say nipa men say free NDC mpa say bia Oforikro municipal assembly na say ye ni NDC 45 na ye to am so aba. At the end of the day nipa ne betena ho ohu ni say ne tia wote ho or the president te
they be say president and nominate
no
there's no
enti ni bibia o ye
o share you see as more for Rica no that provision no me say it will cause a lot of issues.
That is what
the fundamental thing is that DC need a head of security. Senior president.
But my own so kakra, my own
president.
Yes.
Akokoa won your party member. We begin this one.
So it should have been
one ama GDA.
Yeah.
Say a branch because say GDA no cast up a penny and GDA. Don't know me to GDA.
Aye.
Me propose anom de ba na interesting because
I'll come to you, but my Ofori I landed on the point, and I'll come to you.
So like my point is that Papa say we NDC 45 na say atom so aba. At the end of the day, say problem aye nyina say when you go to the district and the municipal assemblies, nipa ne te ha omo bra bia krampa na adwen ne say president ne betena ho. Enti who are you?
Aye.
Who na do make bia no onfa ho.
You are accountable to the president, not the people who elected.
And that is the problem. It's not wa na se bia enipa ne ye bibi na sa hemfo krampo timinya ebro mo asese wututu na mo ba ne na so say o mira yewura ade we dey say ni a obom o tu form so because me say ne tie otena nya mo na mo de ne de ebetena ha but we buy say ye say ye to aba na aba ne ye to ye no omanfo ne to ma no eno nim say ha meti o chena bi ni say me ye bibi na anya ye a me manfo betimi asore etia me a obeya hwe ye unim say common fund common fund to the to me come this is no they are quiet. You would only see or they run the district no but who can no defend president
no defend
because send the president but nka ye nka say ya to aba ne yi na anka ma at least nka true ya omo yi committee me sorry masa adentina yen sanka ye common fund because yen crop for nya development yen crop nyama be bro say economy so for me that proposal that we don't need to entertain and accept it at all because it say the same system na no and that's
and nka Kufuado de no cry here
absolutely
you say ne we de ne de ba we de ne de ba
na say we are
because eno cry de yen fa ne senka enye the president's power say any power mo bani nyina wona achusu omo na enke bi free baby but I will let all the land na mema Eugene followed that of Kufuado very well
and what na me person this say no there we don't need to entertain it we should find a way of electing our MMDs and boy.
Thank you very much Eugene.
You see Saturday me senior preachum fair na ye common abehu ni say ne kotia apshe immunity there no me ma trend he taxes there
not as
again 5 years
edos
eba presidential one na ne even the monument there see some quote independent commission say me show your fair wages na cheche me no salary
and they can determine it
exactly it won't say I don't know more na Kufuado there e wo pros and cons Kufuado there no so me to me na go issue with let me tell you why. Nomination here be na MPP ni NDC any party lines. There's no provision of independent candidature. Inti ano kra no flag ba na wo na party na wo no. So mo mpa wasem district level a unya bi.
It is a wo bia wo party na wo so na we need their fine. But wo party ni mu na we need.
Mama de no mo de bani. Ye nipa 5 no bodi a mo be converting.
na ye yi two afrim na aka 3 na se ba ko ye oba 5 na ze mienu ye ma na mo ko abato and also pros and cons because you see the national security architecture now someone can argue that for example man some people ni be on what they should do hammer pan up DC ya what will you be comfortable with that person? So you may even have a DC who may not be from NDC, but they will certainly sabotage you.
Nobody will be nominated by the president.
Okay. MPP and NDC president also, NDC regional minister. What do you think will happen? They will sabotage you. You cannot do development. It's 1 year development. What will happen? The next election become unpopular. Or come on for an anqua. Oh, church, them come ready to anqua, then ABC.
Yeah, totally. We saw that problem with the Akufo-Addo's own, but comparing it to this, no, kase Akufo-Addo de no, nanka give power to the people more, giving power to the people more than the executive. But we know I said the executive have more power, pre-approved list. The no president the kaka ni awo. I understand perfectly.
I'm pointing you in this the
evil say woman.
MPP so there no. Ometimi so ko for bia the amount. Say na party ni ma approve and party line.
It's a party line.
The party na yeni ani ato abama MPs party of MP on number.
I think say Akufo-Addo the major problem ananka beba no was that
the selection process.
MPP MPP ni be win na NDC na woso a. We look at some of because MPC krom woso yi. Omo ye MPP MPC. Most of them are complaining. I think that your point is valid on that but even power to the people
the selection process has been cured by the Supreme Court ruling. So where the delegate system will not be there. The selection process.
On what you said. In the assembly, there are processes for vote of no confidence.
Oh yeah,
and they just has say almost raising vote of no confidence, even against their yes. It is 5 years or whatever. Nasa perform. They have the opportunity to take you off.
They say there's a term limit no year free.
You understand?
Per this proposal, no, buying say, my term limits of 2 terms, 5 years, and a buying say there be on yin to me say DC is no. Yeba
put terminals with the president.
No. But allow my free range.
You understand?
So no ye choose no. Next, maybe a say choose no. Near choose no princess were 9 so crana. Such a person there to be quiet.
Depending on money.
On a modern book.
That's it.
I know dear me. I don't have a problem with that.
But vote of no confidence. Unim say committee no cry recommend say appoint a council of state in India. And president to
go. Especially state.
Me say President Akufo-Addo dey and President Mamadena inherent in issues.
Issues.
Wo share critically. President Akufo-Addo dey no. I can say ye biem so bi anko to bi no. Some parties are also going to court to challenge it. Who is a card bearer member?
Okay.
Is it dues? Is it good standing? Is it activity? Because once we are dues to make 2 years carbon coin campaign be other. So there are issues.
But because there's a party constitution,
you'll be able to regulate that. But the danger is national security architecture. You see?
Yeah.
In fact, the DCs are powerful. The DC no now control police commander on the street.
Yes.
Oh, me who is a man omusuo kakra.
And a president.
But now we need the adwumboni now we be boni bia. Then I will go.
You what e bia ya da bia se da suro. Say say nim say yi si independent. IGP independent. See ni nim. Ya na separation. Bo mu opposition. Omu nyomu ni kura bo ba be mo omu ji omu di. E defend wo. Den ti no ba be mu di ya ofo ni omu ji omu di defend. Omu position there.
Now, I get it. Now, can be very, very important.
Yes.
On that grounds of the election, Akufo-Addo side now.
Yes, Akufo-Addo. Yes. Now, because Eugene is in fact, a woman, he has a point there.
Yeah.
But the assemblies also have the right to vote against whoever. Yes, at any time. And to bet 1 year, they are sabotage president. A community never decide you.
But the frequency at which some woman see Ghana. Men can say, the probability of that happening very low. Very low from our the assembly system, the corruption in the system. Even yenim say president be at a point in time. Ghana bet me feel say, oh, this is a bad president, we need to. But in the election system, say majority in parliament, usually and they favor the president in power, which voting against that be very difficult.
But it's because of our current status. Unza no can say voting is na Akufo-Addo kana. And no nipa no ni allegiance to party no.
Yeah.
It's nipa therefore. Akufo-Addo dey no crown. Another advantage na Akufo-Addo dey nim. And say Akufo-Addo no yi nipa baako. Na NDC di baako aba, CPP di baako aba. Na brother mama so dey disadvantage say o ma nipa 3.
Baako.
That's the problem. So I don't show up ni na na bia positive. And bia ba preliminary na say me ya no ma advance as Akufo-Addo dey no.
It's a bit lenient. That one, Eugene, what I wanted you to understand from that point is that the Akufo-Addo's own gave power to the constituents, the people to choose
from various
entities. Quarters.
Yes,
but we no.
One interest.
Yes,
I get the corona.
Because what NDC will bring out as a candidate for Akufo-Addo, it wouldn't be what Akufo-Addo like. But to the number. But when the
NDC dey no crowd, no send to kwaba. Omo kono, I can say party na yi ba.
Yes.
The only disadvantage will be that the government could have an upper hand due to funding.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
And to say ben is there na ya BM level funding for
incumbency advantage.
Assemblyman is some party for no. There's some flyers some nyina. No the party flyers.
Yes. Or the color no that.
Now say it's clear. Now when you go to the assemblies they will tell you. Assembly members na nkasaka.
Yeah.
Ebi voice out that no on to Obama party way that or you way ni. They say it all the time.
On the flip side the dual citizenship
Yeah.
I'm just saying, say, you were making a point. I'm not someone for Zoom make a point. But my point is, say, why as a nation, why do we entertain remittances? Because because remittances are back from any forest generating in a way of stabilizing a currency. So we
citizens were outside and green card. Yes,
understand. I'm making a point. I'm saying say
position. What we are saying is that the person holds an allegiance. That's my opinion. That the person holds allegiance to another country. Otiasi US. Omomoko US ami sesiano. Oni Ghana ni so jenishia. Un expect so be save Ghana ni so jeni. Obekuno. Ote da meje Ghana ni awakwa ya America ni so jeni. Se Ghana ni America. Nyame mfasa amawo issue right now na aye war na Ghana ni America share. Ghana ni no yesu jeni wa America no. Wa so allegiance to America. Obeku Ghana ni so jeni ni ya no obekuno. And that is what I'm saying is there will be a holding allegiance to another country. No? In the wisdom of those who made the 1992 constitution saw that there were critical positions here. It is making laws for Ghana, MP. Okotrawa yembra. Ediama or minor. Meanwhile, Mrano or yes, say Nisuano, or no holding allegiance to another country. This why I'm Rafumaya or Tina Otimi funded the passport, right? A movie to the other countries has a year. That is a problem. And that is a point we are looking at. But it's fair also for you to say, we should also allow them. That is why they have the liberty to come here and trade. They have the liberty to do other things. Except the critical positions here. Apart from president and vice president, we contest the position here.
You see, Akokoa, Saturday, no, na many am preaching near cancer. You see, both arguments make sense. Akokoa, your uncle phone when you do as umunim there should be said Jachikwisi. What's not Canada, Bobra? What's the system? So contributed to lawmaking on say Ghana's foreign policy.
And he's not a deputy minister for
foreign affairs. Unza Kokwetio, ne expertise. Oh, the beba. Your uncle for Broma Trump bra very certain way. Abroach UK ni adeno. Your uncle for some more even Prime Minister you're bedding and saying, oh, Indian route. So let me say it's not an entirely bad argument. But baby, I'm assuming so many free baby and Akokoa can say security. Ni national security. Most of the time I say obi an osum US na Ghana bia ye ko ye ni US or a park bi. And one who say the constitutional imperative. an international entity be a sign a contract. Parliament must ratify.
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
Then the parliament committee so interest. In interest, and how can we gauge say at the point to be the position Ghana the ano was so America there.
Maybe now America American Ghana.
President be as fine. Exactly. It went on no dia be me.
Right.
It can be possible say even those foreign company entities can even sponsor them because election is about money. Opama Eugene same frikede. Opama menko abuchire 5 years ko pace camera na me pay doctor na lawyer bi na me ko dina akweti akede. Maybe if you meet me akose nipa na chi no ko wura parliament and parliament galam say
for sponsor Nkrofo
international another dangerous thing, but you see ofodu so there me so me na ya adwen say he who pays the piper
there are other opportunities for them except this critical position ye bet me mo kwan ya bibia trade everything
onchi so ade ye dey odibom
enye ba bia na adebo enye ba bia na esi ma kwan dey I'm asking a critical question. May I ask a critical question?
Me fe mo midunum
you dey my miss a question.
Okwa kras ro man pisi da unso me ngunugu one side ye dey body num me no me mapoto kwa dem dey body ni be num
me miss a question ye mfa nwie e dey nti ne ye hwe ni nyina mu no if indeed we need the services of these people, we need the knowledge wo makonya wo amanone e dey aba. I believe said the prime leadership position no should not be denied. Why do you deny them of presidency? I sent them a critical question. Why do you deny them of presidency, vice president? If we are talking about their expertise, which they've witnessed other countries or they bad there, and you cry a prime leadership, I don't know deny them. You see, so there's a problem, and the MPs are privy to a lot of things. The committees ni identity Tibibia ni wa president ni mu a MPs no mu.
And that is the reason why America is not encouraging us to do citizenship.
Okay. And also be more minor break. All right. Ebusian so bet me the comments about on Facebook, on TikTok, of course. Bet me so e dey afa WhatsApp 0596821571 0596821571. Na ye prepare ye beken kind am but demolition exercise bi akoso. KMA aye demolition exercise bi na over Facebook around the Baba Yara Sports Stadium. AKOKOA ne se maami ya oda femi the container wo mu bubu no je se ofinti ye ya no to fem. Wa finti ombe kanesi wa collapse. I say baby what is about Facebook I mean kwan ho na be use kwabna konante ho no mudi nkomo kakra some time ago but bra Facebook be demolition exercise ekoso no painful there but as you develop your career na say yenya ba enkoso say ya I mean come to Facebook, let's watch. Also comments on here. Wa collapse no say mama sorry mama sorry it's possible she actually collapsed and I be etesa but the bin so kire say omo we da ba omo se kwam na omo se settings hard journey but maame no collapse during the exercise no na almost nsuo gu ne so later I'll talk about that but maame ni opoma nkodi nkomomra Abraham Boadi opoma assembly member for region share so with the KMA on also yenkona yenkudi enkomo opo mache
mejo so minia
na bi awoko de
nyame go tu share
yeda okropon ase menim KMA demolition exercise no around the stadium meaning say because you are part of the assembly nintino mo hu said ye eko nyina da ben na mo hyase na omo a sebe omo twahwe dear na mo ye mfitiase no to actually prepare them psychologically for this exercise because as a anu eden ma yen a ye hwe wabonten.
Okay, me that's it. Meka say Jumedia Kenya Zuba Shat yeah. All exercise. Uning say me one person me disagree. Me agree.
Yeah.
Now me say so far ni demolition ya mehu nyina no. It is in order. No a family member and Kumasi Obeka say onya aware of that demolition. Because you are discussing for very long time our assembly. Yeah, a lot of details of interactions and others. Inti baby nobody should blame Zuba. You should blame the assembly. It is the assembly's decision and we implement it. And I don't think that they blame Obi. These issues too started under era Sampine. Even me first year because of the election. And you know, Africa in our election, now Obi Konwa, chief executive. Sometimes they say, on one crop will be granted, or Kahona, your friend says, Omulusi, and to attend, obey implementing that decision at that time. Now we are getting to the election area, election time. In terms of also hold on kakra. But immediately after election, we are discussing our assembly. I mean himself, first committee of the assembly, I interact with the stadium management. Several meetings on matter are discussing. Meaning planning or environmental subcommittees to Juma or the report about. Meaning assembly need notify officially. Baby, free or Emma to extend that I am Fubikra Bermuba Zuba Ose Topa. Nina no Uncle near ye. I quite remember say a groom rebino now Zuba a substance be say any other than I am woman yet. Adia a baby beautify area wa almost so ense or majuma. Ebia yanya contain a different type and yet the same thing, the same colors. Emma will be say one eye bata name on make more. Now I just space home, which I remember almost 3 or 5 member committee. Mama Mika Omidi a question Dotty I friends on no Bantama constituency. Razak, Mosizongo, and Omode ex-official member, Yenya Capito. There also or car security, or a building inspector, and is a former assembly member, the knowledge and there is to be bois. Emma interacted with Toma, but still, results via any information. It is a like, a group, now I almost say, decided for the assembly. And you say, but the person the decision of the assembly members, including me or Pullman, accepted the way almost on it. I mean, I thought that, and your money, I think when my class for stadium, turn your mouth, walk will be order. There is no container. I remember a group of the stadium authority said, and no normal petty expenses. And which expenses and I'm because I'm more budget for that. National Sports Authority at the budget to say carry which you convinced at the assembly level. And Yabobo Bedru saying, Yambianum Bioa, and Zatoda, Yana Aswade so attack because Bibi Oma now they should have done it before Awema. The drawings of Omon Padia because Obi baby Ubetrena baby be a dita. Amayato. Whilst our new Magu baby out the back. So any pan on Penita, this was some cacking out about Emma Wayabasa. But you know me pieces. Actually, Zuba. Appeal and then call yesterday. Yamuan Bibi Kakran design money feno. Tamu accept I mean, but me cram away. Miss Ati here so move to Amana. And me know I can confidently tell you, my chum says, I want to no interview. Me wouldn't say, yeah, me woman can want them.
Yeah.
But I want to move to foundation. I don't know. Executive committee, so I want to go and ask my mayor because how can you demolish Obi and anything? Abraham by law, no one says to Amana or your day. Is it the concern of the assembly? We didn't say this here. If you are also do open air, then just idea. Assembly no, and I may your mom for many call because my own so much.
Right, but Opoma, Mami Missao, a horna ye demolishes our stores in Adinano. That area around the stadium, no. What
stores? Unauthorized structure. Infrastructure container.
Right. Who containers nibi ohodi the ones they are demolishing. But Mami Misa say the plan and say move used to say area hono around the stadium no for the
plan is also more pavement bricks no. Now I'm level non beautify area no. Even gravel crown on the go near here. That stadium near that was the plan.
But moon see stores be an abibia which the ho.
As at now, there is no deliberation. I have discussed it of any store, which meaning Yahweh. Any book to be you discussed in Ayano, and on may or the Ayajumano. If there is any store, Minya shall say approval of the assembly and will be no Awadiatum. The minister now mayor try to appeal, and Ukraine appeal is to say I'm one mildy. Your friends containers in Yankee to an almost multi-final. And you the same line as Sasso, Pepe, and the same design, and the same color. And also, Colonel, I'm a family. It's a near approval. So I'm not aware. Unofficial.
Okay. But Ekobani say, I mean, we should have a relocation plan for some of these poor traders. Omo baby awoti se be nani atoto hu baby kura ode ne ho befa se mu be demolition bi se yana mu betu omo sa no a do you plan baby abi am betumi ede omo akọ relocation ya na ete say
binia yeah very honest to this issue yeah obia ni wa o kopre ho na o catch obi say o person o tena even more than according to your law 1 month kra they are aware. The license or the permit, or the maokra, or say a temporary permit.
For how long?
The temporary permit, no, or the mawa, or say, I don't know the ma on okra, I did chino, yeah, I buy any obey not yet. And Dobian is okuta tempora. Normally, human face, and yes, ya obebu abet my. But say, also contain a stadium mono, why no be didn't back over? It is good to abet my answer. Oh no, I'll bet you Ukraine himself. Now on to me, now on 1 year. But still, stop it. It took 10, 15 years. Now, sister, this year, baby, the and son, what years here. Abraham is on your dear. 5 years, what was the plan? To work for 10, 15 years, so relocate to work going. Uncle Pastor, when you say, assembly now, what they never ever from.
I get your point. And so far, more real demolition in
that one mean to me, but meaning that one idea, sanity. Yeah, decision now. A mayor and implemented day-to-day administration of the assembly. To mean baby or Daniapa. Mother, baby, I hear quick. Me, baby, dummy, oh.
Baby, Baho.
I hold you run about to Atinga Junction. The expansion of the road. Meshiam in Crawford, Bupa, Frenebusa. I can't show you after quite physical planning department after vote be a letter. It will no matter a brainy doer. And many still team the special team the amount letter say
Okay.
No.
Right. Thank you, Opoma.
How can I choose container? Say you have dual courage from roundabout their.
Hello.
Yeah. Dual courage from
I didn't say Opoma line no a break, but he's made the point. He's made his point on that, and clarity no abba. One, we knew say temporal structure, right? Tiyemo mu notice say every bia omo pebi ombetimi agede. But we're asking on human face. I mean, say you be true, there's an opportunity to send them somewhere. So ombetimi go remember me ya okulapsi ya. You could see say ayeding. Baby obefa no bi so investment bi wo upgrade ya investment just before the demolition. Inti investment or the akomu no akoyeden. Ebi wa mo notice no kra ndru 1 year. Inti so obetete saa de na free mu no ya na ano eden. All the same. Kwabna mami
Kofi araho oni mame no da fam ho no. E da ye call ho no.
Yeah. Oni ne kasa.
Ya ne kasa ma no su. Say the okay no. Why investment be recent that was recent.
Wow.
Because initially according to omo say omo ha na be ka che omo say omo free ho. And omo ko pa che ho. And it's okay. And mun komachi no omo san ba ye say. And mo san so painti manager sentiment colors. Omo yes investment when you obi ho peja container na de ko achire. Esa leg and grounds for and odi see so. And omo san so painti. Enti akwaje say omo boka wo ho. But latest one I buy a crown say the model of container beer omo pesa omo ye.
I know Opoma kan say kitten.
Omo enu kwa de na ye kese. Kete no e after ye call ho no na ye suggest say contractor bi ye bi e wo krono ho ba bi na ye de eno e beto social media
man. That's about a few weeks ago,
yes,
about 3 weeks.
Very good. Enti na ye kese omo de na omo ye na kese 70,000. So they were crying so many says cano. So later you could who's some model and kitchen no and the two assembly you say best wrong one. Meet my inside boy and them say one them say Zuba. Now Opoma say not Zuba's okay and because Zuba no or be I'm saying or sign wa bada or sign general saying your but me name the entire Amanakobani says they say the Akoba saying
it's very sad.
Very sad. You see?
But very sad. And non so actually no see a develop crew no see ma crew no mu ye fe. You get it around the sports stadium which bit me about international match in foreigners a beba country no stadium e fe like
on said no me can say you see ye tia de omo ye.
Oh yes
name say the work on human face
hu here
omo ye kotu omo ye ase na make yes abi o gobi yes abi o yes
ovary
but assembly ne kan ne kan
I be sepani kunya.
But the point is that say the work on e was say you beautify Kumasi as a city.
Sure.
So, there are no Raga Junction, any tech junction. Chance of Maji Sis in the Honor. At least a man honor
beautify or
Kakra. But maybe no Poma can or say the National Sports Authority. And I shank of Fonu Kutupa. Say, Omontana, Omujo Musika, they running near marketing kitty. This is systemic and institutional failures because National Sports Authority, your mom budget, what they running more intended and Muko depending on petty traders or and who Sikaka Kramubiano, Namodia, because of that, no say almost Sports Authority for Namo Ajo Musikadia, I don't know Mumbai Pamoye.
Most on your stores in West Wetro. For now, be your temporary structures. I am until a horn and I and come on Mudina, Bianca, say yes, Sports Authority and Cabana, and Comayan to share if you cry, da. But sa area no say yeah, assembly no nema where you set now or permit set now. It's not the sports authority. So whoever is, I mean, part of that, you know, I think that's
a railway for the railway for the.
So into the company omono as agency no na asay so ye assassin but meanwhile so no e ho no ye say wo si dan krampa so meters away there municipal assembly and say friend say
omo there
metropolis na assassin on the regulatory sign e mani nyina ntia wona akofa problem na back but akokwa me nkase and kwani kumasi say empata empata table near the adini containers na TCC I think say doors dodo
Opoma say opeso ade no ka one thing be aware na line no e break here Opoma in a minute na dem me brena so
Akokoa me so about the election of the MDCs now can no plan.
Okay.
To be honest, President Mahama Peso CC Mobi. Adia or day bano, be BNY, ye be diatum,
right?
Because Say na His Excellency the President episode the bar. And you think the MPP the bar cry yamping and can ye. So I know the party yibi. Now yenya president who nominating Nipa 5. Mr. Akokoa yenya this example.
Yeah.
His Excellency John Mahama choose to Nipa 5. Ewo Kumasi Metropolitan Assembly. Me my imagine say general election me contest bino. Mahama be choose me. Akokoa wa kind of great. The same partisan.
Yeah.
And say MPP say miem. Na party bi anfa ni Nipa mra. NDC bet me aba. MPP bet me di aba. PNC bet me aba. Na mo se anya. Yenya ma president man nko bo NDC for nko Nipa 5. Eno de head any agiaso.
And okay.
Because the ABM party PNC. Apalu bi kran committee major ma apalu. Ana MPP. What say no nye. Nemo yenya na wo nko 225. Na ntusu NDC for
omu nyina ya wo nkrofo.
Ayo nkrofo say KuroYiMu 3. Aba to aba okem. How come? And omu nyina no both government and say ye jatum say neutralize the elections of MMD so be anfa na kwa ana ho den kono.
It's true. It's true.
Yes, as obi astro.
Sure.
And the area ni obi dia na obi o your popular no ya adwuma. Very was slow to go to election.
Yeah.
And the best His Excellency is all supported the election. Nana Akufo-Addo also supported the election of the MMDC. Yeah. Woman in your opinion. Na munya partisan affiliation. Yes sir. MYN.
All right.
Because they say me mahute. Me tipa na His Excellency President Mahama
Aden na nka be PDC ye ni. Ke me boss edi.
Oh Akokoa ye BM di amedi.
Okay.
Ye bi na MPP amema ni bi. Omo appoint me.
Okay.
Omo appoint ba ye BM di akumase for beto ama me.
I see.
Eno na me ko bi no so ati mi be tutu. Ada mi ntin wo ye ka. Sabi da wo de ntia ye be so ye tia.
All right, thank you. But as you okay.
You say BM Akokoa say obe campaign ama me. Wo kwa be family nomination.
Nyame ti ase.
Nipa 5. Against that.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Opoma. CP Abraham Bodi, Region Shares Assembly member. Opoma, any networking common. Konongo empotemu nsempinua ekoso ho. But yebeko ho enche. One more aquino. They say traffic ewo ho. Any the bypass one asem a yaka no a nsempinua no. Ano pay. And here yen say mbabunu no prepare ne no maybe say wono mo betumi aye oye kire kakra. But master see a mechanic or a residence and so Konongo. Era say good morning.
Good morning.
Apomu ye there.
Ye ko na ko ado.
Ye do ko wase. Akwan no dia hin na say mu raise concerns about.
Yo the tie ko no aye ko aso. I don't know pay the car. I'm a buy at okay, back pass no e I'm not kono at shebe. I'm a accident to a 80 kono in Patamo. I don't get to what. And the would free and can never do ya quick. Never do Odumasia accident in Kwa. At the event that Yakwana what got around here. And the system I want Kaiba, the body passama. There's a who I am faso. If you are the two abayanim, you get the back pass on my yamay. Apart from a horse to know, you Kuroya and Namu, I could Ukuri. Sakari does a whole class would never be back. And when now we are dodging a year to abayanim himself, on my no one year and floor am I into that. It's any other.
Timusa Mobile or Yetre, and Dabang
Yama MC Yama letter. I'm on my 2 weeks. Please go demand and a criminal Yawadano. If you said in the now to say, Yaman, you said now to my Yawada Sanaba. Now Yawada by the Asantia him Pony and Penny for years. It is a member what you want to say. So big for Yawada, Kumasa Yapon Kaya. I did Okanado. I guess how yeah, it really are the other side of Patabedia will be able to conquer.
Edion. Enti Sesia no moye nipa dodo sen brono ben na mo ka bo mu adi sa adwuma no
Asante atu omogu banso agogo kodonwo adonfe kyese mpatam wankura wa nyina jansa dum nyina obi ata ho bi.
Wow. Okay. Na say ebeye peaceful there.
Oh, ebeye boko if na no petition ko na mede ko no police for ase eda di petition ko ma ayini MC no abo boa ye se do mu ni abata bia ma ababion pe bia ye di su ta na we ti ebeye.
But our block kwan there, I think say against Emra ewo memu just because we deny others so omo rights. I believe some bit me a peaceful demonstration bit me afa kwa ho aye oyekire na ye de mo pese mo ye bia but blocking the routes access to that route ne there.
Kwa no dia me kwa ye jimu ko kwa.
Right.
Kwa no ye medu enti ye be ni ye ko fa ko asa ko MC obi.
Okay.
Enti ye se mi ye si kwa se obi mesin. Okay. Be ya ho pentemu a be ye si kwa no sa.
Okay. Okay. I see the that's no pay.
No.
All right. All right. Masa Adama, quickly, dear now, what can come?
I thought you would be bone. I ever said that for that is I know it. If you free by going to the people, I would want to get out. Would you have to be to us? Who for a couple of months, what would be to us? Who I wouldn't tell my queen now, who are kind of poor enough. If you make a sense question, not by say. Also, you be not by bypass the money. So be I can't do how the more. I'll put it in my back. But I'm a part of the all conference or stop for bread woman. Stop all things that are down to the money. No, be done. Or but I was not how my didn't. It must have said the master case.
Okay.
Lampard ever broke one leg to the fire more panel. Never one house.
Okay.
Not out for our the rest of my phone in for capital for about Peter for where the phone also my dear, well, boy,
okay. All right. Yeah, that's it. Quickly, Mamine Honorable Ebenezer in 2 minutes. And can once when you notice now what is happening. Honorable Ebenezer, I do. Honorable, good morning.
Good morning.
Apomi, dear.
Amiado.
Right. Yedanyamia say. Me name say when you notice from residents about the Konongu Road and what is the update?
Okay. And yes, sir. Menya notice. I am well abreast with Konongu Road.
Okay.
Inti road be a problem was to be a minimum. Na about a month ago. And a guy be a friend from Makoshi. Or serving notice of demonstration on the Konongo bypass. Into Commander Emma Masote. And I inviting Yebisano ne how. And was see road in Ache. Na government by on a contractor nephew road into. And I make a chance say, if that is the case, I mean, I'm MC, you know. My nancy work on road ministry. Me ne a Santa Region Minister Casa. And the highway for the Como. And information with the man meaning in America in our children. Say, Samupe, a munchramua, a munchramuna media moment. If that is more how. Then you should call off your demonstration. And I agree. Say, Odamasi, na you pay me be an obane, overthrow an office. Now I turn the boat at church room. It's a minute, like I say, really. The following day, me will fear a meeting group of your mobile project to be a mammy. Na, Commander from me say, Omo ye demonstration to member major petition. No say demonstration bang. No say omo ye bypass no. No me say na ya na akwa na ka kire me say onya na one ne nkrofo kakasa na nya me kire wate ase no. Inti quickly and na me too ka ma mpanifo yi ka me ho. that time no kana national security regional way no Tasoba Alaji Tasoba o oni mi team na di mechi ne yakoi ena mi ko bisa omo road no ekwan ne nye ekwan na che ene na mi so mo fa mo petition mame minia I had the shock of my life say mi ko be a petition ni mu no na nye petition o a police permit omo tro akwaje permit to police station omo de bremi
so omo de be demonstration no
so omo de be demonstration eno na omo de bremi na odi police permit bremi a o fa nipa kakra bi di wetina mo bo de wuro mu ye dede nam ka kwan so
Honorable, we just want to understand now when we are concerned and say a quino and enye. What is the way forward? How are we handling that? Then as you say,
the way forward, no, a central government project, and yet municipal assembly project, and a two that bypass no a stretch from Jaso nebe pio konongo and it's already under contract.
Mm-hmm.
There is so many issues on the land, including compensation payments, and then some land litigation. In the highway for us, to make clear all those hurdles are the contractor Kofi Job will come back because currently Kofi Job will other projects so all year I was Santa region her into real noir or bebaso. Minia as MC near me to me and say me push a lobby for projects in Yamaba.
Okay.
But Okoni amount this good explanation. You don't fight them.
Engineer is a Kofi.
But me who say they have ulterior motive. Because any idea can create explanation where media we. Does it still call for demonstration? But almost democratic right to say also a demonstration. Into me jai me be biako attend to them. But still almost almost a demonstration.
Enti Okoye no. Because now kase Kofi Job wie Ashanti region kwanya na waba ho no mu anase kwanya wo ye we ya you didn't give them timelines ebia 6 months 1 year and what ma timelines because that is what will agitate them
road no Konongo bypass road no
yeah
there is so many issues on it
okay
according to highway and road ministry. Also, clear all those headers, including payment of compensation.
But we need to have timelines too.
Think to me in my timeline because me in charge of the road.
But also inquiry. Okay.
So then you ask minister say my timeline.
You can ask me something like that.
Maybe sir, also mention a name. Omu to niema eye sikasam enye say. Oh sorry, ya no ababeye.
Okay.
And there is so many technical things on that road.
All right.
Including design worker. Also omu ye. Me no ka say omu start redesign ni nyina. Omu go so ye ho adwuma.
Right.
Into my explanation said there is work ongoing.
Okay. All right.
But physical work it is say machines babe jina so ni ade no. Eno na mai.
Okay. Honorable, you best maybe na
abandon road no.
Okay. All right.
Government eguso engage na senya akra yaba ya ni group bia. Omo claim land ownership yes on Beko court. A preventive project from going on. Minimum
Akasa.
Ministry no
okay.
Akasa.
Okay.
Emma Sankrofono I withdraw on court action and compensate on
okay. Right. Honorable, we will have time more another time to discuss more issues on that. Medase. Honorable Ebenezer Idu MC Asante Achim Central Konongo. and I and then more on the issues. Osha, there is no actual timelines, and the issue AKOYIMuNsem bio. Fancy weak mineral water, Mr. purified water, no one for life. National Cardiothoracic Center Okolebu, Bomode Nafi, Oto Aweka, Yediskani Biko Hokobwa Omopa. Na so blueprint DNA esebra DNA hu nsem ni nyina abofra ne hye yefunu kura yetimi ye wo hwe na abofra no hwe na won hye dance hu ne senya wo ba mesroko DNA no Kumase asafo snit dan na ho na be 0547113957 0547113957 let's light deodorant spray any body splash remember the storm run wide legend and my obsession instant crash medicine temptation e money mema nyina Kumase any prudential plaza din hwe ni first floor Mrs. Anoche Plaza 0240152204 0240152204 Kojak Farmer the Kojak Pro Code number etutupa pepun ase charcoal toothpaste no so boama ase fita kama na P ni F sensitive toothpaste no wose na fimfim ne kaka ni nyina emu yawo ni nyina ebetu ase de ama Kojak Farmer Cash Drag Lane Accra Central Market 0244559597 0244559597 Saso kum tontom preko Mr. Saso spray ne kwa no wo fa kum tontom no na bibia ne din Samara Company and the way dia ba for 0501454462 0501454462 one more ebejo so pa Franco Trading Enterprise phone papa pa fie na Nokia Samsung iPhones ni nyina ya the CCTV camera kan air conditions ni nyina and so boga Franco edibia ba jaba jewelry nchen ho old Malcolm nchen ho Kumasi ya Akokoa clinic nhwe ni KJT ya Dubai so one more ho for 0245316969 0245316969 friend yen Moses here 03220 83581 83582 83583 nia wote ya no paya ya discussing nyina obetimi ni atwetwe nkomo lines no ya be 03220 83581 83582 83583 na ya ntwetwe nkomo SME loans no so aba SG Ghana HSE boafo loan no interest no wo fempa obetumi abegibi na bibia atumi akoyie pa SG no Societe General edemu kronye 0302214314 0302214314 hello
aba
Minia
hey aba mo dia tamebo inchafo mo dia de bia mo sisem
no correct
my boss be no way at antibe kwalo so when tie kura o da no ile mama Esther
right
say we tio den ba kwa MC so papa no boss mo tio pa na bu saka teria o fa de mo ka no ye ba sile Ghana ye nyina epempuntuo ni nkanko ye nyina emwa na ye fa adwene mpanye bibia nko so na kan se bamba ko mo nyama me ide ma de dia no me da ase
menso me da ase pi Kaisa 2026 high school debate in zona pairing no gisua Friday 31st the atwam afi August ya yasimu dodo no anya asem ketwa kra enti afia ko bi ampem SHS twa SHS ya Santoa girls and schools ni pi no ye pe wo nyina ntisha no so se Love FM Inshra High School debate zona pairing no yegusuma Abdis na hello
Akokoa
Minia
good morning
Minia
nature kuna do janka bani fantastic
right nature yenti we
thank you very much mabo juma yana nam to be no for me chia munyina
mojo so
quick one MC now interview he should buy his head down into shame say no cripple baby yen can't nipa say a central government fine we understand but you are acting as a sub-government. It's a din and I'm almost where two I found. On to where first central government the buyer by your coin. We part in a woo and also a dream. So what I say, we na the beer make us say, you can't ye and put a general tree. What's your money position there? You can't say just a bashing ye. What's in the dynamic I say? Me didn't acquire no my city, I'm a man Ghana. Me de ma ho de ne ma dwene ma koma nyina besom Ghana me de de wo me mu ma ho brase ne me gidie mu eno ti ade nyina awurade boa me it mean ka we nyina it say na be and quick one on the AMA boss for year around the stadium said they with me a designing Akokoa under bridge and when you was sitting more make stress na ye for onye trade fair of Kente na exhibit yen Kente no
okay
anytime Diana secretary the ba mu fi baby on ba be ye kente asante ye kenta ye kita.
Yeah. That's a good
that's
one.
That's my humble opinion.
Yeah.
Maybe I can do the channel.
Right, Nature, thank you very much. Absa Bank, Absa Green Finance Loans, no Yegusua, anti-misro, solar energy. Now, person, the fear with remember, BBR, they will sponsor you with cash, interest, no fempa, no man, bomodia, and a kama. Now, electric vehicle, no so, no, no boy, ding, to one, a boy, to me, to be Absa. Your story matters. High sense, bomodine high sense, refrigerators, chest freezers, television, air conditioners, nina will be. Now, gas cookers, washing machines, smartphones, outdoor sound systems, water dispensers, microwaves. Nina 2026 in Fidia Bay, you should need a high sense and you use your Kumasi City Mall, Kumasi Adum Post Office, Kumasi Tafu, Kumasi Tanoso, Obabe, who your showrooms, Nina, phrase, see our 0302 5500 0302 5500. Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, Akokoa.
Minia.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning. Where am I last caller?
Pachana Mpume.
Adominem Pai Bomio here.
Jamal and Meduado Amate.
Right, Jamala, Yentiwe.
Mampa Konya to Namintia Professor Joshua Levy. Namintia Richmond Hotel, income organizer. I know about a Paesta income woman organizer. The Nakotin about for some Mintia, or Bopon so Bachama when she has some Mintian. Akokoa. Ye in I would say, oh my God, I will a na dear. Ye in I would say, dear Kuma, and I don't be at the cross. Now, a baby, why, what the idea ye be a man of a year, ye in I. The best MC for a DC for so mobile to move out of some year. Mumpa for Brazil, and in Puntu, and found some. Then there was one way this from Ama, Imamopona, and Hotel. No, my acquainted below her, me pass about that in the Zakataya. I want to marry you. The beauty say a side of and to acquire a charter coin, me in assets, and the better MC Nelly for two more. Then the Omun to bet me, I had the upper much in the corner with you, and so for Tomka. No more to my say, or mine of a
right. All right, thank you very much. Mamin for a special happy birthday wishy and confirm Reverend Dr. Patrick Yantra and your birthday. Reverend Jeff celebrating Reverend Dr. Patrick Yantra, senior pastor, Rima AG Church. Happy birthday to you, Reverend Dr. Patrick Yantra. And I mean, shower would no nyo kesima unquatentia holding wumpa na bibia enkoye emfa maun na ne opebia emremo emfa emma power tiasifo asasi. So in shower 104.5 in shower power sports. Ebra so say de bro.